Hello. Are we working? Didn't ask me. Let us see. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Oh no. Let's get it. Okay, we're just doing all the shit I should have done before. Let me make sure all got that thing ready. No, it's not made for kids. Reactions. And season 3. All right. That's enough of that nonsense. Let's just go entertainment. Right? I guess film and animation. Let's just go entertainment. Fuck it. Fuck it. Yo, what's up, Texas? What's up, Bad? Oh, brother. Heard you found a camouflage airplane in disguise. He's back, everybody. Moose isn't a big fan, though. So, you know. Sorry, it is what it is. How's everyone doing? Password is too short. I'm 100% forgetting that password, but it's just for me music. I'll just reset it every time I get locked out. That's fucking practical. Hold on. Recap. I just gotta make sure I've got all my recaps so I don't miss a fucking minute. No worries, man. No worries. How we doing, everybody? How we doing? How's the vibe today? How we feeling? How's life? How's liberty? How's the pursuit of happiness? Most importantly, because as normal, I'm late, as I always am. All right, let's see. I've got to also repost on the Twitters, Oh, shite. I didn't do it. In my traditional fashion, I am like 30 minutes late to my own stream. But yeah, we're gonna get going here in a second. We're gonna start walking through the episodes, talk about our favorite moments, and all that fun stuff. But for now, get rid of that. We can get rid of that. All right, we're in it. Why am I in fucking Hogwarts Legacy? Gross. Gross, my guy. Ew. Like, seriously? Ew. Just chatting, I guess. Or should I do podcasts? Talk shows and podcasts. Because in the future, I'll potentially have guests on, so keep that in mind, everybody. I don't really know why I'm using this fucking accent, but here we are. Here we are. Alright, alright. Okay. Episode 2 recap. Alright, I don't want to miss a fucking moment, so that's why I'm doing that. Alright, let me get the player going. God. Guys, I am the worst. That's alright, we going. Yo, what's up, man? You, the beautiful bastard, you sexy fuck. Alright, let's see. Claim free sampler. I gotta re-sign in on this. Me. Hold on. Trying to get us all some music to jam to. Lightly. While we're fucking around, you know? Let's just go top 30. Boom. Too easy. There we go. All right. We got music. Yeah, Moose always loves saying hi. That's our Bubbas. I haven't seen the latest Mando episode, so I don't want to get spoiled, but I just want to say I appreciate you and I'm glad you're live. I appreciate you, man. If you have seen the first one, we're going to go chronologically. So I'm going to try to keep spoilers very self-contained as a warning. But that's a good reminder, actually. I got to make sure I change the title to include spoiler alert, because that's kind of an important aspect, huh? Good call. You the real MVP, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Spoilers. All right. Boom. That one's updated. Ooh, baby. Spoilers. 1, 2, 3. All right, that one's saved too. Boom, 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 boom. We should be good to go. No more. Oh. All right, so who's ready to get weird? Because we about to get weird, and you know we about to get weird. Always, like that's what we fucking do. All right, so welcome back, everybody. As most of you know, my name's John, aka Real Tall, and as many of you may or may not know, I'm a giant fucking Star Wars geek. My name actually used to be Wasted Sith everywhere, and that was kind of my jam, but we're the Real Tall now. We're the real ones. We're all about keeping it real, and oh my god, are we going to keep it real tonight about The Mandalorian Season 3. So anyone tuning in, just know this is going to be completely spoiler-ridden. I am not going to hold back, but with that said, I'm going to try to isolate each part like chronologically through the episode, so it's not like you're just getting bombarded with random spoilers. The idea is actually that we'll step through the episodes, talk about what we like, talk about what we didn't like, dive down any subplots or tangents we want to go on, and just generally talk Star Wars, because that's what we love doing. So let's, without further ado, let's just dive right in. Season 3, episode 1. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for being patient with me. I know I've kind of been MIA. A lot of you, if you follow me on social media, know it's a mixture of my mental health and just some creative blocks and just a whole bunch of shit. I apologize for fucking nothing, because we're after it. We're doing ourselves, and I promise I'd always be real. And part of being real is sharing the good with the bad. And not just the bad, just the, you know, we're all going through life. We're all doing shit. So I'm going to get off my soapbox here. We're going to get after it. But with that said, we're here. We're back. We're not going anywhere. And you're fucking stuck with us. So get used to it, nerds. Let's get after it and dive into chapter 17, The Apostate. So, I guess we'd be remiss if we didn't do a quick recap, specifically of Book of Boba Fett. Let's just say Grogu's back. That's kind of the big thing you need to know. And then I guess the other thing is that Mandalorian, Din Djarin, confronted the armor, met her and old big Vizsla baby. Not Pat. Is it Paz Vizsla? I'm blanking. Damn. Anyway, he confronted them. The armor confronted him and said, hey, you ever remove your helmet? And homie's like, well, actually, I did. So that's kind of the big deal for that regards, is that basically he's now admitted that he has removed his helmet and he is now an apostate because he's not a member of his Death Watch cult anymore because he removed his helmet. Important notes. So that's kind of the setting for season 3. Obviously, there's a whole lot more that goes into it, but you know, if we want to do a full deep dive into all that stuff, I'm happy to another time. But for tonight, let's just kind of dive into the new ones. Opens up. We got to talk. There's a very important element of this opening scene that we have to talk about. Obviously, you know, the scene opens on a beach. There's a bunch of Mandalorians. There's essentially a foundling getting his first training helmet. It's a whole thing. The armor's kind of building up the culvert again. It looks like getting them back on their feet. But we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the giant fucking turtle gator that attacks him. Because I have mixed feelings. And Savannah has very mixed feelings, if you ask my wife. But long story short, I thought it was a cool Star Wars creature. But man, they sucked at fighting it. Like, for what? 20, 25? I don't have mixed feelings. So I was like, fuck that thing. Burn it with fire. But yeah, that turtle gator, cool enough creature, but those Mandalorians were fucking stupid fighting it.
I don't have mixed feelings. It's fucking dumb.
Say it again.
I don't have mixed feelings. It was fucking dumb. They almost died by a fucking gator. Like, seriously?
A turtle gator,
What?
to be fair.
Okay. Woohoo. Really? Like 18 of them? No. No mixed feelings.
She was talking mad shit. First episode of the season, first scene, she was like, what the fuck are they doing? These stupid Mandalorians. You'd think they'd be smarter than this.
They should be smarter. They better be smarter.
Yes, they should, and they better be smarter, but they weren't. They were very stupid. And it was, their fighting was very bad. There's no getting around that. Don't really know what the thinking was there. They could have at least made them look like they were whittling it down or something, Monster Hunter style, but nah, they just watched them get tooled for 5 minutes straight. But then our boy, of course, shows up. Old Din Djarin just coming in blasting with that Naboo cruiser juiciness. God, I still fucking love that ship. I love that they went that direction with it. No worries, Wrath. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. But yeah, so Din comes in, blasts that thing to high hell, and does the whole spiel of living waters in Mandalore. I'm gonna go get redeemed. Basically everything we heard from Book of Boba Fett. But yeah, so that was kind of cool, I guess. But basically, like this, it was a good first. It was a good first episode. I want to preface that. As a Star Wars fan, I have every right to talk shit about the plots and the like the overall dialogue and everything like that. So that was my biggest gripe with that. The combat was, they made him look so stupid for Mandalorians, like really stupid. Yeah, so it sets up the whole season. Essentially, we kind of already knew this, but Mando is going to be on a quest to go bathe in the living waters of Mandalore, which was supposed to be a poison forsaken planet. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so that was kind of like setting up the plot point that yes, he is indeed going back. That's what's happening. But now that we kind of got the initial, setup there, the alley-oop of, okay, you blew up the frog turtle, or the gator turtle. We're good there. We know we're gonna bathe in the waters of Mandalore, and they go to Navarro, and this is where shit starts getting interesting for me, because I'm not gonna lie, I did not have trying to revive IG-11 on my Star Wars bucket list. I am a little torn. I think it's an interesting idea and it's an interesting plot point. But at the same time, like, his sacrifice was so meaningful because you knew he couldn't come back. So I'm a little worried it's going to be cheapened if he does come back and, he's just happy-go-lucky again and everything's hunky-dory and everyone's happy. I don't know. It just seemed a little funky to me from that front. But with that said, it was a cool idea, and I didn't see that happening. I thought it was really cool that they had him as a statue in the middle of the square. Obviously, we gotta take a minute to appreciate the fucking drip on Carl Weathers. That man, hands down, the best part of Star Wars. Like, cast the Mandalorian aside, the best part of Star Wars to date is Grief Karga's cape droids. He had 2 droids that just followed him around, and his drip was on so much point that he needed 2 fucking droids to hold his cape up, just wheeling behind it. If that doesn't scream, I run this shit, I don't know what fucking does. So clearly, Kit Jetster has been overturned, and those 2 droids are the best part of Star Wars now. It's a fact. But anyway, Grief's just dripped out. Clearly he's trying to turn this into like a trade center, but he hasn't given up his, at least, let's just call it self-indulgent ways, maybe. He hasn't given those up. He's still very much that kind of flashy guy, if you will. So that was cool to see that he didn't change too much, but he is trying to legitimize the place. And basically, long story short is, let's see, I think that was the order it went in, right? Yeah. So we do all of the Navarro stuff, but basically it introduces a character that I thought it's an interesting choice. Oh shit, I forgot the one important part, that back to the IG-11, they try to fire him up and he attacks them. That's something I wasn't expecting. I thought that was pretty cool. That his programming has reset essentially, so he needs to be remade into the IG-11 he was, as opposed to just the assassin droid he originally was. So I thought it was kind of cool, and that scene where, Mando almost got his ass kicked by a fucking crawling droid. But that's neither here nor there. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was an interesting way to introduce the idea of him coming back, but showing that it's not quite as simple as flipping a switch. Because the only thing I can see them kind of redeeming that arc, I still feel like it might cheapen, or will cheapen his death if they fully bring him back. But you know, at the end of the day, I'll take more Taika Waititi any way I can get it. So like, who fucking cares, you know? But yeah, like he's just doing his thing. He's yeah, IG-11 attacks. Talon shitting on kids in Siege. Oh hell yeah, battle. I've been kind of vibing. I've been feeling potentially trying Siege again, but we'll get to that. But yeah, then we get the pirate arc, which I thought the standoff was very, very fucking cool. I thought it was very cool to see Grief in its element, and then Mando just mostly sitting back for it, just, you know, letting Grief do his thing. But then when push come to shove, they drop those motherfuckers real quick. I thought that was cool. To show that Grief still has that edge on him, that he's trying to be serious about kicking out the old bounty hunters and pirates and all that fun stuff. Gorian Shand was an interesting choice. I'm gonna have to... I've only watched each episode once so far, for the record, which I'm ashamed of. I'm gonna binge all 3 of them this weekend. I meant to this past weekend, but I didn't. I'm so sorry. But, Gorian Shand, even for a Star Wars character, seemed a little off to me. I get that's kind of his character. To my knowledge, I think he's new in this, isn't he? Gorian Shand. I think he is, but I'm looking it up right now, because, you know, I'm the first to admit I don't know everything about everything. Okay, yeah, so it looks like he is new to this. As a new character in the Star Wars universe. Interesting. Yeah, his like fucking, I don't know, like plant tentacles. He's like Davy Jones, but for plants. that was something. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of him. Yeah. Open image in new tab. All right. Display capture. No. There we go. Transform, fit the screen. That is my boy Gorian, the old Gorgor. Old Gore lad. Old Gorius. Can I just crop this instead? Ooh. There, that's my boy. Clearly the best character in Star Wars now. Look at that man. Doesn't he just scream swag? That's old Gore lad, the Goremeister. Yeah, so I'm not sure about him. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a particularly wonderful fuzzy feeling about him yet, but you know, I could be wrong. I could be proven wrong. I'm fine with that. I'm down to be proven wrong. So he shows up just for kind of a quick, you know, one-off. Y'all, what's up, JS? How you doing, boo? Good to see you, man. He shows up just to kind of talk a little shit and be like, you killed my men, yada yada yada. I will say the space battle in the episode 1 was fucking cool. So far the ship battles in general have been very, very cool. Very excited for that. But I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Doing better this week. He did, right? Like, yeah, I was saying he's like Davy Jones, but with plant tentacles. I agree with you 100%, babe. But I'm interesting to see how he uses it. But the ship battle with the pirate that survived, obviously he, banded together with a few of his friends and ambushed Mando on his way out of Navarro. That was cool. I thought the ship battles were very cool. Mando just did fucking work and just worked that whole squad. It was very, very cool to see him use the Naboo cruiser like that and like really put it into combat mode and like go ham on it, because we haven't really seen that, I don't believe. We pretty much just had him fly around with that thing. Yeah, I really like that part. Oh, and one more important part about Navarro. We see, I think it was Babu Frick. I don't remember the name of his species, but the little dudes from Force Awakens, I think it was Babu and two of his friends, and they try to repair IG-11, but basically say that they need a new memory chip. So I don't know how you're going to transfer memory chips, but anyway, Star Wars logic. But yeah, so Mando sets off to what I thought he was going to go try to get that memory chip, but it seems like he kind of put that on hold, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, so he gets off, he kicks a bunch of pirate ass, and he flies off to go say hi to his good friend Bo-Katan Kryze. And of course, she's pissed. He's got the Darksaber. She feels like he's stolen everything that's hers, and she's a bit perturbed about it, I will say. It's a bit pickly in it. And yeah, it's, I gotta say though, her stance on the throne of just, oh, I'm sorry, Mando. Didn't see you there. Come here often. What are you here for, Big Daddy? I mean, to be fair, if I knew Pedro Pascal was coming to visit me too, I'd probably be posed up all seductious, sexy like. But yeah, so Bo-Katan's is doing her thing. And basically just chilling. Like, I'm trying to remember. This one's, yeah. Yeah, this one is where she tells him where the mine is. That's what it is. Yeah. But yeah, so Bo-Katan goes to Capital City, or tells him to go to the Capital City and bathes in the waters under the ruins and all that fun stuff, because she's like, fuck you, man, just go and die, be an idiot, go do your thing, yada yada yada. And then the important thing is she's like, it ain't poison. And obviously the armor is like, nah, Mandalore's poison, you can't do that shit. But Katan's like, nah, fuck that, you're good. So that's basically the episode, as I recall. I think basically he starts flying to Mandalore, and that's kind of the end of the episode. All in all, I think it's a strong starting episode. I don't think it had any one element that blew my socks off, but it was a very good start. It set the table well, kind of caught you up if you weren't in Book of Boba Fett, but it didn't really bother explaining why Grogu was there. It did explain his quests, so there's that. Yeah, it's an interesting element that they didn't even bother trying to explain, the whole Grogu being given away at the end of the last season, and then now he's here. I watched Boba Fett, obviously, so like it's not a mystery for me. Would be for anyone that didn't watch Boba Fett, which if you missed it, you didn't miss a whole lot with that series, in my opinion. It's solidly mediocre at best. The best parts were Mandalorian. His episode was the best episode. But But yeah, so it set the table really well. Got us a little bit excited, but not like overly leaning into one thing or another. Didn't end on a whole cliffhanger or anything. It was just a solid episode. I was happy with it. I don't think it's blowing anyone away. I don't think I'm going to be remembering this episode of all the episodes of Mandalorian, but I don't think it felt like a filler. I think it was just a good place setter, if that makes sense. Now, fast forward to season 3, episode 2. Obviously, everyone, if you have thoughts as I'm going through this, stop me. We can chat about it. We can dive in tangents. I'm down to get weird. But my God, we have a lot to talk about with episode 2. I gotta say, I gotta rewatch it. One of my favorite Mandalorian episodes. I'd say at least top 5. And I say that because it felt different, like obviously similar tones and themes that we've gotten and everything, but it felt unique, and I really liked a lot of the aspects. I liked that Grogu got to shine and do his own thing a little bit, because that's an important note. Apparently Jon Favreau said that it could have been up to a couple years that Grogu was training with Luke. So how about that for a quick flashback? But yeah, like, I guess I'll go chronologically so I don't ruin any of the big things. And this one does end in a cliffhanger. Oh my God, does it? Whew. I'm excited just thinking about it. I got goosebumps just thinking about the ending, guys. Look at that shit. Look at that chicken skin. I'm way too fucking invested in Star Wars. But yeah, so basically they go to Mandalore. You know, there's the cute setup scene of them flying around the planet, and oh my God, the fat fucking raid! Ordy, welcome, my man. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, everybody. I do want to say, before I even say another word, I am talking spoilers for The Mandalorian. So I do want to warn everyone that just joined that. But thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. My name is John, aka Real Tall. If you can't guess, you can't really see many of the tattoos there. I'm a bit of a Star Wars nerd, and we're gonna be diving into the Mandalorian episodes. Is The Mandalorian better than Ted Lasso? Hank, I think you know what I'm gonna say. I will say they're in such different categories, I couldn't even pretend to compare the two. Ted Lasso is probably the most heartwarming and genuinely uplifting show I have ever seen. Period. The Mandalorian is the best Star Wars show I've ever seen, and some of the best Star Wars out there. And it's like, how do I compare like gold to platinum? You know, they're both beautiful. You know, they both are shiny and have their own value. But could I say one's better than? Well, I guess technically, I think platinum has higher value, so maybe that one's better. But you know what I mean. You get what I'm going for. Do you need a Mando co-host? Ordy. That's a great opportunity. Oh yeah. First of all, hold on. I'm an absolute asshole. Ordy, yes, I would love a Mando co-host. I want to, in the future, start bringing back guests onto the show, because that's what I did. I think I skipped it last year no, Mando wasn't out last year. 2 years ago for season 2, I did Mando Mondays as well, and I tried to have guests on at least, every other week. So if you're interested, Ordy, I would love to have you join. They typically are going to be on Monday nights, as the name might apply. I figured that'll give people enough time to watch the episodes, and I don't need to feel bad about talking spoiler ridden. I'm really liking it, Hank. What Discord are you using? Right now, I'm not in anything. Are you trying to hop on right now? Hell yeah, get in here. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I was just chatting with myself. I can sit here and just talk about Star Wars. Yeah. I'll send you a link to my Wasted Crew one. Okay. Create invite. Copy that. Boom. All right, get on here. Yeah, Hank. I just kind of walked through episode 1. Obviously, already we can go back and touch on any elements you want to talk about. But Hank, my synopsis of episode 1 was a great setup for the series. I think it made the Mandalorians the beginning look fucking horrible, to be honest. I think they sucked at fighting, which was kind of funny to see. I like the creature though. But with that said, I think it had all the parts. Yo, what's up, Bordy?
I think like, and not to like just
No, go for it.
I mean, I guess okay, so Mandalorian season 3 to me is really extra emphasis on Grogu. And I think Grogu is like, it's just like every episode with this that they've played so far, and tomorrow is the new one. It has just been Grogu overload. And I am here for it. I'll tell you that right now. I'm here for it because the first episode was like the cutesy, you know, like all the little like all those little noises they
Sorry,
noises.
the what?
The you know, the baby noises that it was making.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't quite get that.
Yeah. And I think that like in the scene with with Babu, I can't remember his name.
Babu Frick.
Babu Fink, right? It was like melting my heart. And I just wanted to hug my little Grogu stuffed animal. You know, he's like, bad baby, right? And it was just like so much. And then episode 2 was just Grogu really filling into his role of being Mando's like apprentice or the co-star, you know, like because he just had so much going. I mean, he saved Mandalorian. He saved him. He saved Mando. He did. You know, he just like used the Force. He's showing that he's, you know, still young, not too scared, but I'm all for it. Grogu it out. Like, see, I'm all for it.
I would actually argue that I agree with everything you're saying, except I don't feel Grogu was particularly memorable in episode 1. I don't know why, but when I think of the episode, I don't even think of him. Like, period. He felt like kind of an afterthought to me, which I know is kind of against. I agree with everything you said. He did have his cutesy moments, but like for me,
I get what you're saying.
It just felt like he was just kind of next to Mando as Mando is setting the stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, have you seen the theories where Grogu becomes the Mandalore?
I would fucking love that. First off,
well, because like historically, like if you look back, the first Mandalore was a Jedi Knight.
First Mandalore, or you mean you mean with the Darksaber, right?
Yes. The one who created the Darksaber. Yeah.
Was it Paz? No. Tar Vizsla? I don't know. I get all the Vizslas mixed up. All them damn Vizslas.
Yeah. And so what did you think about the little nod to Rebels with the whales?
Dude, I told Savannah about that, my wife, and I was nerding out about it, and she didn't know why I was for a second. But I was like, that's the I looked it up. The Purgo, right?
Yes.
I remember. It took me a second, but I got it.
Which I think is going to be a good little segue to, you know, Ahsoka, because Ahsoka is going to be a continuation of Rebels. Going to find Ezra, and we're going to see hopefully Thrawn.
I mean, they have to at this point. Like, they can't not give us Thrawn, right? Like,
I mean, did anybody even announce that they casted Thrawn?
Nope.
So then he's in it.
He's in it. He's got to be.
He's got to be in it.
He's got to be. Yep. He's like one of my top 3 favorite Star Wars characters of all time. Both versions of him, actually. I like them both. But yeah, that's I could go down a rabbit hole for hours about Thrawn. But yeah, like the Purgo I thought was an awesome nod. I think having Dave Filoni be so incorporated in Mando has been fun. But like now it's obviously, you know, we don't know where the season's going to end up, but it feels like less of the blatant cameos and stuff from season 2 and more of like nods this season, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. No, what do you think about Bo-Katan with the Darksaber?
Oh yeah, I hadn't even gotten there in my breakdown yet, but dude.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I have no real form. I usually just kind of step through, and then when we get talking about something, we just dive into it. But yeah, let's just fucking dive into that part, dude. One, I loved episode 2. I was just saying, I think episode 2 is at least one of my top 5 Mando episodes, if not top 3. Mm-hmm. I really liked it because it kind of felt like a horror movie almost at some points. And then just the absolute badassery of Bo-Katan using the Darksaber after Mando is just horribly struggling with it. I think they did a really good job of not like hand holding you into that. They just kind of put it in front of you and had you draw your own conclusions of like, oh, she's much more worthy of this thing than he is, at least right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like the way she just systematically dismantled that fucking spider droid, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, the little General Grievous's cousin or whatever he is. Yeah. Hey, I was like, this is fucking the same guy made this guy that made General Grievous? Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. And they just keeps getting smaller, like keep more and more pieces come off. Like, all right, man. He gets out of the big thing, gets into the little thing, gets back into the big thing. I'm like, all right, man. But yeah, it was
a great episode.
It was really cool. I agree with what you said that like giving Grogu a chance to kind of almost have his own mini quest was really cool. Because you're right, he did save Mando. He brought Bo there, who just you're right with that Darksaber. She was a master with it. Like,
well, she held it for a while.
Yeah, and she clearly knows what she's doing with that. Oh yeah. And Mando over there is like, oh, it's so heavy.
Yeah,
I'm not worthy. It's light.
I don't know whoever holds the Darksaber, you got to defeat the person. So the guy defeated him, the little spider guy, Mando, and then she defeated the fucking spider thing, Grievous's cousin.
Technically.
So does she yield it now?
Technically, but isn't it supposed to be on like actual one-on-one combat? And the spider thing didn't technically challenge Mando to combat. Yeah. He ambushed him. So I think there's a loophole. And that was actually something I was waiting to see if Bo gave it back or made a deal about giving it back. And she just gave it back. So to her credit, like she wants it more than anything. She wants to rule Mandalore, or she thinks she does at least. And she still had enough honor not to steal it from him and just, do it that way. Which I thought was really interesting because they could have very easily made her just be like, at least make a big deal out of it. But no, she just laid it right back at his feet and like, no, it's yours until I get it back.
And then how the episode closed.
Yeah, you want to go there? Because dude, when I tell you I freaked the fuck out.
Well, it looked like she did too.
I mean, let's just say there's some stains in that armor. Woo!
Yeah. That shit was like, oh shit, dude, this thing's real.
Yep. Yeah. When I didn't expect that at all. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't even occur to me that they were gonna have.
Like when he gets into the water, I was like, he knows how to swim. Right. I didn't really see it get pulled down. I thought maybe he just fell off the cliff. He's been beat up and fucking all his fluids being drained and shit. I thought he just fucking fell. Right. So, and then when she goes down there, I'm like, God damn, how far is this motherfucker down there?
Right. So what is your theory? Because I've heard different theories on that. Did he just fall and pass out on the way, or did he get pulled?
I think he got pulled down.
I agree. I think he would have had to.
At first I thought he fell. Right. Like he fell off the ledge and went down. And I didn't think that like it was, going to be like the abyss.
Right.
I didn't know that thing was gonna be that deep. And then when she goes down there, that's why I was just like, good lord, like how far? Like where's she going? Like how far did he go down? And then when she came back up and saw the mythosaur, that's why I was like, he got pulled down. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing for me too. Like I thought it was going to be some sort of underwater creature battle or something that they'd have to get rid of. Never in my wildest dreams did I think it'd be a fucking mythosaur.
yeah, like
didn't even occur. Yo, Mind of Mercy, if you're just joining, man, we are in the deepest spoiler territory. I appreciate you being here, man, but just want to warn you.
Yeah.
You're in
spoiler alert.
You're in season 3, episode 2 spoilers, like the big spoiler. But also welcome. I appreciate you being here.
So I kind of went back and I've just been watching, here and there, like starting from season 1 and just rewatching it. And there were so many good episodes, kind of, I guess, reel back to spoilers, but like there's so many good episodes in season 1 and there were so many good episodes in season 2 and like right now, I mean, I know we're only 2 episodes into season 3, but episode 2 is amazing. It's up there.
Damn, I know, right?
It's up there. And I think like my favorite like episode from season 1 was when he goes into the prison ship. And they're trying to do that breakout.
Yep.
And they turn on him and it turns into this horror film aliens vibe.
It was very aliens feeling, huh?
With the strobe light and freaking Bill Burr like freaking out, and every time the light strobes, Mando's in a different spot. Right. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that one was
so good.
That one was a very, very good episode.
Yeah, I mean,
right, Mind of Mercy, you don't know Star Wars. My bad. You're good. But yeah, I agree with everything there. That was a very. I think that's one thing this show has consistently done well and shown is that it's never going to be one-dimensional. It's never just going to be the same shit over and over again. It feels every episode can have completely different styles to it.
Well, and I you got to credit the directors,
right?
Because they have so many different directors doing it.
And like the Kurosawa episode, like the takeoff on Japanese samurai films with Ahsoka being introduced in season 2.
I was just going to mention that season 2 Ahsoka, and
completely different feel, and you could like even down to the music and everything was so different. Like they used a lot more quiet space, and if you notice that, it's much more like tension building. And then
and it goes back to how like George Lucas made those movies where it was World War II films, samurai films, Western films, and just the showdowns of like where Mando is just showing the holster and he's just grabbing his gun, like getting ready to draw, like it's like in this season 3 when the pirates are there, he's just like, well, all right, motherfuckers.
Yep.
Like it's about to go down, so it's like, I just love that, Dave Filoni is doing this and he is George Lucas's little fucking like do boy.
Have you heard his speech about Duel of the Fates? Oh my god. Hold on. I'm gonna send this to you and you got homework now. This was on like a behind the scenes of one of them. Filoni. This is the single best Star Wars discussion I have ever heard in my life. Period.
Well, and
it's
like
incredible.
How he got the job, right?
I don't actually know. I mean, other than
so
he was
doing Samurai Jack.
Oh, I never watched Samurai Jack.
Yeah, he was. Well, did you watch the Clone Wars animated one? Not the CG, like the computer one, but the cartoon one.
Yeah.
The very first Clone Wars,
that shit.
Like
the 5-minute episodes. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
So good.
Right. And it leads right up to episode 3. Well, Dave Filoni, that's Samurai Jack art style, right? And Dave Filoni did those.
Yeah.
So, he was working with Samurai Jack, and he gets called to the ranch, right? And they're like, hey, we want to bring you in for an interview. So he's like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm just gonna go get interview, whatever. And they're like, all right, Mr. Lucas, we'll see you now. And he's like, huh? Like what? So he walks in, and George Lucas is sitting there, and George Lucas just starts saying, okay, so like where do you see Luke Skywalker now? Like, where do you see this? Like, how do you see this? What's the story? Like, if you had to do this, what would the story? Where would you continue that? You know, yada yada yada, and just basically ripped Dave Filoni's brain apart and was like, okay, all right, you're hired. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Then he just become. Oh, I did watch this. I don't remember the dual faith part, but I did watch this.
Oh, it's just like that's what the fight is known as.
Yeah, yeah.
But now my wife's like, just play it. So I'm just gonna play it if you don't mind. But we can, talk over it.
Go for it.
Easily. Oh, hold on. I have it muted.
We've all grown up with imagining who Anakin Skywalker was. You saw so many
I
things
might
in
have to
Phantom
turn
Menace
this
that you
up.
just imagined, like the Jedi Council, and none of it really was what I had expected. But I know now that that's just like how creative George is. Like, he just sees it differently, and he's laying it down. And I love the lightsaber fight with Darth Maul, not because it's a lightsaber fight, but because George is so good at crafting why that fight's important every time. Like, the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight isn't like the most wonderfully staged necessarily combat that you're ever going to see, but there's so much at stake. It's so meaningful when Obi-Wan dies that we all feel like Luke. In Phantom Menace, you're watching these two Jedi in their prime fight this evil villain. Maul couldn't be more obviously the villain. He's designed to look evil, and he is evil, and he just expresses that from his face all the way out through the type of lightsaber he fights with. What's at stake is really how Anakin's going to turn out, because Qui-Gon is different than the rest of the Jedi. You get that in the movie, and Qui-Gon is fighting because he knows he's the father that Anakin needs. Because Qui-Gon hasn't given up on the fact that Jedi are supposed to actually care and love, and that's not a bad thing. The rest of the Jedi are so detached, and they've become so political that they've really lost their way. And Yoda starts to see that in the second film. But Qui-Gon is ahead of them all. And that's why he's not part of the council. So he's fighting for Anakin. And that's why it's the duel of fates. It's the fate of this child. And depending on how this fight goes, Anakin his life's gonna be dramatically different. So Qui-Gon loses, of course. So the father figure, because he knew what it meant to take this kid away from his mother when he had an attachment, and he's left with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan trains Anakin at first out of a promise he makes to Qui-Gon, not because he cares about him. When they get Anakin, when they find him on Tatooine, he says, why do I feel like we've found another useless life form? He's comparing Anakin to Jar Jar.
Excuse me.
And he's saying, this is a waste of our time. Why are we doing this? Why do you see importance in these creatures like Jar Jar Binks and this 10-year-old boy? This is useless. So he's a brother to Anakin eventually, but he's not a father figure. That's a failing for Anakin. He doesn't have the family that he needs. He loses his mother in the next film. He fails on this promise that he made to Mother, I will come back and save you. So he's left completely vulnerable. And Star Wars ultimately is about family. So that moment in that movie, which a lot of people I think diminish into just a cool lightsaber fight, but it's everything that the entire 3 films of the prequels hangs on, is that one particular fight. And Maul serves his purpose, and at that point died before George may bring him back, but he died. And that's showing you again how the Emperor is completely self-serving. He doesn't care, he's just a tool and he's using people, and now he's going to use this child. That follows all the way through to the line which terrified me as a kid when the Emperor tells Luke, you like your father are now mine. And the idea when I was a little kid watching that movie of some evil person possessing my father, making him do things or making him be evil was terrifying. That was like a thought that was horrible. Also, it's amazing when you watch Return of the Jedi that Luke has never done anything that I would call it like he's a bad character. He has like a tendency to be dark, and a lot of people wanted Anakin, oh, he should have been darker as a character. It's not true at all. I believed Luke would turn to the dark side in Return of the Jedi. I believe that was on the table. I believe that he would kill the Emperor, and because of the way George arranged the story, I knew that was the wrong thing to do. When he's saying, you want your weapon, strike me down, I'm defenseless. He wants him to give into his anger. He wants him to give into his hate. And the fear, the structure that George has laid out in all the movies is coming to fruition now. And the only thing that's going to save him is not his connection to the Force. It's not the powers he's learned. It's not all these things that are an advantage to him. That's gotten him to the table. But what saves Luke is his ability to look at all that and look at his father and say, no, I'm going to throw away this weapon. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let that go and be selfless. And he says, I am a Jedi like my father before me. But what he's really saying, and why I connect so powerfully to it, is like he's saying, I love my father, and there's nothing you can do that's going to change that. And the Emperor can't understand that connection. Why wouldn't you take this? I'm offering you power of the galaxy. Why wouldn't you take this? And Anakin then in that moment has to decide to be the father that he's never had. He has to give up all the power of the galaxy and save his son. And that's the selfless act that he does in return for his son. And that's what saves him in turn. So the son saved the father saved the son. And it works out perfectly. And I draw that line all the way from Phantom Menace to Jedi. That's the story of Star Wars.
So when he
Everything
pops the
else,
helmet, you're saying when he pops the helmet off in that moment was part of the
yeah, it's
fated arc.
it's all part of the Vader. It's all part of like why it works and why we care. It's not about X-wings. It's not about all these.
God, I could watch it forever, but okay. God, so good. Anyway, that's speech so damn good. That
You
man-
say right there with that table with Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Harper, or not Bryce
Howard.
Bryce Dallas. What?
Yeah,
What's her name?
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Howard, not Harper. Stupid. Great runner in high heels. Takiki, and then the other two, I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
Are they the saviors of Star Wars?
Oof. I think yes. I would say yes. I think Mandalorian reinvigorated the Star Wars fandom. I think it showed that Disney can handle a Star Wars property well. And I think after the sequels, again, I'm not quite the hater that a lot of people are on them. I do just feel like they were rushed and not the poetry we're used to with Star Wars. And I think Mandalorian reinvigorated, at least for me, showed us that Disney can kick ass with Star Wars. That's what it did for me, at least.
I think you had to have people that gave a shit about that universe, right? Like Jon Favreau gives a shit about that universe. Dave Filoni obviously gives a shit about that universe, you know? And I don't think without them too, like say it was some other director, maybe say it was J.J. Abrams that came up with Mandalorian. I don't think that it's the same.
No, it's not. It's not the same depth of understanding of the characters. But this is going to inspire a good discussion, and I have very strong feelings on this discussion. Mind of Mercy here and my YouTube chat has never seen Star Wars all the way through. I think he's seen bits and pieces here and there. But he's saying, man, I don't know much about the series, but Disney did the series raw. Damn it, I may need to do a first time watch the movies just to see what I'm missing. Pop quiz. How do you watch the movies for the first time?
So I think for the first time, right, for you to really I enjoy 66% of the movies. So
interesting.
Yeah, so I would say if you are a first time Star Wars, right, and for you to really get the love of Star Wars and to understand what Dave Filoni was talking about in Star Wars, you have to start with episode 4. I think you have to start there, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
And then if you've never seen it at all, right, you kind of understand without, I'm not trying to, what's his name? Mind of Mercies.
Yep.
I don't want to like give spoilers, right? But if you're going to watch Star Wars and you go from 1, 2, and 3, you're going to see how Anakin becomes Anakin, right? But you're not going to really understand how different Anakin is if you don't see 4, 5, and 6 first.
You don't appreciate his journey to become Vader if you don't. He knows he's seen enough about Star Wars, so like that kind of spoilers he's okay with. But
yeah, I think you have to start with 4, 5, and 6 to really understand Star Wars and why fans love Star Wars, right? And I know that generations of people are gonna be like, well, fucking episode 1, 2, and 3 came out when I was born and yada yada yada, right?
Fuck that.
But regardless, I showed my kids 4, 5, and 6 before they saw 1, 2, and 3.
I will never not die on the hill of release order is the only order.
Yeah.
For the first time watch. Once you've watched it, like watch it however you want. Like I've watched it every way imaginable, but it's, to me, exactly to your point, you don't appreciate the depth and the nuance and the weight behind the prequels unless you've seen the originals. Like,
Yes.
because cool, a good guy kind of turns bad is what you get from the first three if you don't understand the weight of, and even though you know where he ends up, watching it happen has so much more meaning when you know what the terrifying force he becomes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Because
And Izuku says that also the Clone Wars show is life-changing. It is. Clone Wars was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Clone Wars, there is some fluff in Clone Wars. You could probably watch like half of the episodes and get the gist. But
Yeah,
I still love all the stupid droid and kid episodes too.
Yeah.
They're
There,
nice to
there
watch
is definitely
once.
some hokey episodes where you're kind of like,
Mhm.
okay. But if you can survive the 22 minutes of it, you know, and just move
Mhm.
on to the one where they go to the slave world and just kill slaves off, and then Obi-Wan's
Dude.
over there freaking like, what the hell's going on here? You know, like there's just so much crap happening. It's like I cannot believe this is a kids show right now. Like this is
Right?
insane.
That's what, for the record, Diego, I agree with you about Filoni should just have all Star Wars. But there's also a rumor Jon Favreau might, Anyway, I think when people tell Clone Wars, oh, it's just a kids show. Obviously, yeah, the first season in particular, you could probably skip most of the first season and be okay, in my opinion. Because the good stories start developing from there when it kind of gets its footing and figures out what it wants to be. And so, okay, yeah, you start from like calling them snips and like the kitty, you know, Ahsoka's this annoying little brat at the beginning.
Yeah.
You remember when she was an annoying little brat before everyone fucking loved her?
Yeah.
But like by season 4, Maul is murdering innocent civilians and sending videos of it to Obi-Wan Kenobi just to draw him out. Does that sound like a fucking kid's show to you?
No, it was there had some grit. It had some heart.
Mm-hmm.
Like and then you kind of just fell in love like with these mindless, not I don't want to say mindless, but like these clones that shouldn't have, you know, that were just basically made to go into battle and die, right? They weren't supposed to have any type of feelings, they weren't supposed to have any type of stuff. And you get to see their relationships and the relationships they had with the Jedi and the relationships they had with each other, and they just weren't clones, you know, they were freaking humans.
Right.
And they had that love for each other. And then like season 6 where he finds out, you know, like they're all implanted with that chip, whatever, to like Order 66, and he's like, we're fucked, like he's trying to tell him, and then they kill him. I was just like, oh my god,
dude,
like,
that
the blaster bolt hits him in the chest. I was just like, holy shit, like no,
right, that one
so
bit
good.
of lore after the fact answered such a lingering question in Star Wars fans' minds. Like, why would the clones turn on generals that they've served with for, you know, however many years?
Yep.
And it's because they literally are, it's programming. They are forced to. And then, like, their downtimes you'll see in things like the Bad Batch, you'll see them start questioning it and being like, why am I acting this way? Why did we do this? Why are we doing is this the right thing? But in the moment, they can't fucking help it because it's just a programmed order. And I think that was a really interesting turn. Yeah, Diego, the Mandalore arc is incredible too. Oh my god. Peak Ahsoka, peak Maul, and fucking like when they played out real time with episode 3 and you could hear like the background. Oh, chills, dude. When you could hear Anakin, no, or like the Dooku's head being cut off and Ahsoka feeling that, and then Ahsoka feeling when he turns to the dark side. Oh, so good. But yeah, Clone Wars does a lot for Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship in particular. I think it really deepens it and shows them more of the brotherhood as opposed to just Padawan and mentor. Because, you know, Anakin becomes a beast and becomes powerful, but he's still cocky. And then Obi-Wan kind of balances him out with the lawful good kind of thing, but he still also has his code and his things that he would fudge the rules to. Cough, cough. Satine? Right?
Yeah.
That's her
Satine.
name? And we're full circle back to Mandalore.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh god, you got me talking Star Wars in general now. But like, so good.
Yeah, sorry to derail you.
No, never apologize for Star Wars talks. I don't care if I've had the conversation 1,000 times. I'll take it 1,001 just to get one new tidbit, a new angle on something.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Clone Wars. Rebels to me though is probably the best one, best animated series.
Interesting. Okay.
I think
why
I
Rebels
just think
over Clone
Rebels-
Wars?
Yeah, and I like Clone Wars. Don't get me wrong. I think it's both. They're both great, but Rebels with Ezra and that whole crew just starting the rebellion, just right to the before the rebellion, it was just so good. And then there's so many like moments where you're just like, oh my god, like oh no, and it's like, especially when old boy dies. I can't remember his name, the Jedi.
Kanan Jarrus.
Yeah, when he dies and he's
Caleb
just like
Doom.
yeah, and he just pushes Sedula back into the ship, and it just dies right there. It was just like, oh my god.
And that moment, if you look, his eyes come back for a second, and he sees her as he's pushing her, and then dies. Oh my god, the fucking power of that. He it's granted his vision to see her one last time, and then dies.
You see Izuku's comment. He said, "I'm watching Rebels still. I fought against watching it because I was like, you can't make me love someone more than Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi." It's so good. God, it was so good.
My biggest gripe, but again, it's because I'm a fucking fanboy for Thrawn. I think they did Thrawn a little bit dirty by the end. I think his setup was great, and he was every bit as intimidating and terrifying. And Lars Mikkelsen is incredible as his voice.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he kind of got comically beaten at the end. And I get the whole warp away with his desperation thing, but that battle in general, Thrawn just wouldn't put himself in that kind of position. But anyway, the minor gripe, I'm just a Thrawn fanboy. So but yeah, Mind of Mercy, that's one fun thing. Oh, don't get me started. I'll talk about the Darth Bane trilogy. That's a whole nother thing that shows that kind of that there is really the whole, from a certain point of view, is a very real concept in Star Wars. And while even Dave Filoni and George Lucas, both agree that, Sith bad, okay, but at the same time, I think especially the expanded universe of Star Wars and all the other stories outside of it, you'll often see that the lines are very easily blurred. And I think that's one thing. If you have seen Andor did fucking incredibly. That monologue from Luthen, was incredible. What have I sacrificed? Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. I work for a world
chills.
that I will never know.
Yeah.
I work for a better tomorrow that I will never see, I believe is this line. Oh my god. I'm doomed to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. Shit.
The whole Andor
so
series,
good.
And a lot of people were like, I'm not watching it. Who the fuck is Andor? It's just there's so much in that series that is just mind blowing, and like that scene with Lutheran, right? And then the freaking jail scene. And he's like, I can't swim. It's just oh my god. It was just so many powerful moments. It was just
yep. And then the little guy or the younger kid dying, and the friggin'
climb. And it was a little homage to Rogue One when K2SO is in there, and he's just climb, and he's sitting there fending off the stormtroopers, and they're in that data center. It was just oh my god.
Shit.
I loved every minute of Andor.
Diego,
the acting, the story, the cinematography.
Dude, that's what was blowing me away. Yes, Star Wars has some good cinematography often, but I feel like the shows are just fucking nailing it. I don't really care about Boba Fett personally, but Andor and Mandalorian in particular, really good cinematography, really good music and use of music, and theory around building tension versus releasing it, and whoo, holy shit. But yeah, Diego, watch Andor. I'm telling you, as someone who waited till all the episodes were out, wasn't really vibing with it, didn't expect anything of it, and I kept hearing it was good, and I'm like, fuck it, finally I'll just make the time to watch it. Holy shit.
I've watched it twice already.
It was so good.
It's so good.
It was
like the
so
acting is fucking amazing.
Oh.
And it starts out like okay, I see how this is rolling.
Yep.
Like I see how this show is rolling. Like like in the first 5 minutes, you're like, all right, here we go. I'm in for this. Like, buckle up.
Like,
so
it's got to win some sort of award, right? Like, because that, even just the acting alone was so damn good. Mon Mothma leading a complete double life. Same with Luthen. Whoever Skarsgård just crushed it as him.
He did such a good job.
Oh my god, he was chilling.
He did such a good job. Like, just going from this fucking, like, cold-hearted, I'll do anything I can to start this fucking rebellion and get these bastards out of here, to some aristocrat art dealer in freaking the middle, in the middle of the hornet's nest.
Yep.
You know, just right there in the middle of it, you know, like
licking the boots of the enemy.
Oh my god, I was just like
so good.
He did so good on those like
Heist arc,
amazing.
The prison arc, the finale. All so good.
And the eye, you know, with those little, like, the asteroid coming, like, or not the asteroids, but the meteor shower, it was so beautiful and freaking, you know, and you're like, you can't even really enjoy, like, how much, like, art was made into this, because you're like, get the fuck out of there, like, go, just fucking go, you know, because it's just been so much happening in that episode. It was just like, oh my god, like, everybody died. You're like, fuck. Like, the whole team is dead. There's only a portion left. You know, it's just so good. You know,
it
was
really
such a great series.
It's very
such
good.
a great series.
Very good.
And
Shit,
then you got
me wanting to watch it again now.
Yeah, I watched it twice already. I'll watch it again. Because like season, and then did you without giving too much spoilers away? Did you watch the end credit scene of the last episode of Andor?
I do. Yes. With the thing that they were making. Yes. Yep.
It was like, oh my god. So Andor made the Death Star. You know, it's like,
yeah, right. The irony.
Oh, so good.
Diego, I'm gonna do you a favor. Skip to episode 5 of Boba Fett. Is that the Mando episode?
Yeah. When it goes to Mandalorian season.
Go to episode 5. I think you can even skip 6 and then go to 7, whatever the final episode is, and then Mando 2.5 season.
Yeah.
That episode, speaking of cinematography, a really random obscure fact about cinematography that I fucking love. Obviously I know it's, you know, digital and green screens and stuff in this one, but continuous cuts make me so fucking hard when they're used right. And episode 5, if you rewatch that, it's one continuous shot, or at least shot to look like one continuous shot.
Yeah.
From the beginning, he goes up an elevator, out onto there, talks to everybody, comes back down, goes down the elevator, and leaves in one shot. And I'm like,
yeah,
bro, that shit just got me. I don't know why, but I'm such a nerd for like that specific use of that is, I don't know, because it seems like nowadays everyone's like, oh, you got to do 18 cuts in every second. And so the use of a good continuous cut is like, oh, gets my rocks off.
Yeah. Yeah, those episodes are awesome. Boba Fett was a major disappointment.
Okay, you agree on that?
Yeah, and I think, what's his name?
It's bad.
The director, the Rodriguez, what's his name?
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
Yes, it had the smell of him all over it, in that style. Like, I'm cool with having cyborg type shit. I mean, cyborgs are not new in Star Wars world. Luke Skywalker had a cyborg arm,
right?
You know, that's not new. But to have those cyborg genetic freaking teenage scooter gang,
you don't like the scooter gang
in the middle of fucking Tatooine, you know, a dirty, dusty ass place, and they're just clean as fuck. You know, it's just like, what is happening in the slowest
Black Chrysanthemum was cool.
The slowest anticlimactic chase scene, you know, like,
oh my god, that shit was funny.
I was just like, what are we doing? Can we please stop?
Seriously,
Rodriguez, stay out of Star Wars, please God. Stay out of it.
Diego, do yourself a favor and just skip the rest of Boba Fett except episode 5 and then 7 because he gets Grogu back, right? Or is that in 5? That's in 5. Watch episode 5 of Book of Boba Fett and then don't watch the rest because you're not missing anything.
Yeah. Like,
the Rancor is pretty cool.
Rancor's cool. I thought it was pretty cool that they went back and showed like the human element or the, you know, like human element, I guess you can say, of the Sand People.
Yeah, but then they fucking just killed him off. I thought he was gonna like raise an army of Sand People to fight.
I know.
I thought I was hyped for that. I was like, it's gonna tie back together, and they're all dead. I
guess it kind of
okay.
goes with, you know, like, you know, it's the Cowboys and Native Americans, you know.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's that they're this indigenous tribe that lives on this planet, and they've just been fucking, anytime anybody sees them, they're like, shoot them.
Yep.
You know, like right on spot, you know. So I think it kind of added to that, like, all right, Boba Fett befriended them, and after he was held captive, it had that very like Dances with Wolves type feel to it.
Yeah.
But
it just felt really anticlimactic to me, though.
All, you know, kind of just. But you never really got to see Boba, be like fucking just like the baddest bounty hunter in the fucking galaxy.
Dude, the combat was better in The Mandalorian than it was in his own show.
Like, he went out there just wrecking.
That first fight scene where they're like in the phalanx, if you watch that is some gross looking combat. Like, gross. And I get he's, you know, older now and he got fucked up by the Sarlacc, but like, bro, you got all these dope ass gadgets and a fucking jetpack. Just fly out of the phalanx and just rain down hell on him. It's easy.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't give him any of his ruthless edge that he has. Like, they could have made him a likable character and still had him just fuck people up, you know?
Yeah. And I think they were going with, you know, like him trying to turn ties to be like, okay, I'm going to take over the city. I saw how everything ran. I was part of it. And I'm not going to do it that way.
Right.
But come on. Come on.
Yeah, but what are you going to lead with?
Get your ass kicked
with
every
love
time.
and kindness on a fucking criminal underworld? Like, dude, you're still a criminal. You got to still be a badass. And like, I think that's one thing that Mandalorian does really well is Din is very good at, you know, he will fuck some people up. Like the pirates, like he just drew and just murdered them. No problem. Just because he thought they looked like they might fight.
Yeah.
Boba would have been like, let's talk about this a little bit longer. And then would have had to spend a week in a back to tank. It's like, come on, man.
We can just spend time with each other in the back to tank, you know, like.
Yeah, Mind of Mercy. It killed everything badass about that character, in my opinion. And I thought he was great in season 2 of Mando. I loved him. I called him Daddy Boba because he came back just Boba thick, just looking just juicy and strong as hell, with the knee rockets. Like, my God. And
and then there's the part where they go to the freaking that planet with the Imperial, like when Mando goes down there with Bill Burr.
Dude, my God.
Then the freaking Slave One comes out, you know, and then the TIE fighters, and he drops the seismic mine. I was just like, I was like, thank you, God. Yeah, it's like, jeez, in my pants. You know,
everywhere, dude. I had changed at least twice that night.
It was so good.
That moment, every Star Wars fan knows it. That quiet, like the drop of all sound right before it goes off.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, speaking of that episode though, full circle back to Bill Burr. Talk about good acting. That man fucking crushed it. Like, as a comedian, as Bill Burr of all comedians too. Like,
and
the emotion you could see in his face. Yeah. Dude, like, especially just, I've seen that look in people. Like, I never deploy, but some people really got fucked up, and like PTSD is very real. And seeing that portrayal of him, like, you know, you're smiling as my friends and people I fought alongside died, and then he just shoots him in cold blood. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, get him, Bill Burr, get him.
Wasn't that the actor that was like, he's been in like every fucking Star Wars movie?
The Night King? The officer?
Oh, he was the Night King. That's what he was. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
he was the Night King.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I thought he was in a Star like in
Yeah.
episode 2.
Mind of
like,
Mercy in Mandalorian. Like, honestly, you don't really have to watch other Star Wars to watch Mandalorian. That's one thing I like about it. It's, yes, there's a lot more references you'll get if you've seen Star Wars, but it is a self-contained story. You don't really need the whole backstory. But yeah, Bill Burr is in Mando in season 1 and season 2. And honestly, some of the best acting in the series in season 2.
Oh yeah.
He was all Bill Burr in the season 1. He was just Bill Burr playing Bill Burr. But whew. God, that was
Yeah,
such
it
a
was
good
such
fucking
a
show.
that was a good episode too.
Mm-hmm. I did not think they'd be able to make him likable. I really didn't, and they did. They made him, if not likable, at least you understand him. You get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I wonder if he's gonna be in season 3.
I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping. Because, they didn't take him along, but he's out there. He's out there.
Yeah. So what's your predictions for Mandalorian season 3?
Yeah. We gotta go back there. So, Diego, earmuffs, and Mind of Mercy.
Well, I mean, this is predictions.
Okay, so we're not going to mention the big ending of episode 2 again. We touched on that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
We won't spoil it. Just what's your
Whew,
predictions?
episode 2. Oh, that ending. Oh, I can't get over it. I'm still thinking about it a week later. I think I like the Grogu theory. That's an interesting theory. I think this is going to be a redemption arc for Bo-Katan. I think Mando's going to realize he doesn't want what he thinks he wants, and that he wants just to essentially protect Grogu more than he wants to be a Mandalorian. So I think, or his version of the Mandalorian, Death Watch. So I think
he's gonna become like Joel from Last of Us. Or
essentially, yeah, essentially. I also just saw this finale, so I might be a little biased right now. I might be a little influenced, but I just want to see that same finale, just as Mandalorian saving Grogu again, like in season 1. Like,
yeah,
same shit, but improving. But I would make it work. Oh, poor Pedro Pascal with all the daddy things.
Yeah.
I mean, I say it too, so I can't even be talking shit.
He's
But
funny.
yeah, he's a funny dude.
Yeah, he loves all that shit. He loves it.
Diego, you saw the spoiler? You didn't even see the episode? Yes, that's the episode when he saw the large creature.
Well, that's it. He is everywhere. But you can't be on social media with major shows like Mandalorian or anything like that.
Even Savannah, who I don't think knew what that creature was right away, even she was amazed. Her eyes were open, like wide open. But yeah, I mean, we're here. Fuck it. Peru and Chile are natural enemies. Oh, shit. I was back on the daddy thing. I didn't get the connection. Oh, you saw the episode? No. There's another one tomorrow, Diego. So you're probably thinking of episode 3. 3 is tomorrow.
Change Savannah. Savannah. It should be Savage.
That's what it's for. That's what it's for, dude. Her name's Savannah, but her
Savannah Savage right there. You can
exactly.
leave.
She says, "You don't like it? Get the fuck out." There's the door. That's my wife. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Well, let's just fucking talk. Mythosaur. It happened. It was a thing. We saw on screen. We saw a fucking Mythosaur. Oh.
So, do you think that? So, with your theory, you don't think that Mando is going to kill the Mythosaur?
No, so I read up on it after because I'm a nerd and I have to consume every little bit I can get my hands on afterwards because I am just waiting for the next week. But I read that the prophecy is something to the effect of, and the whatever wielding the dark saber will ride a Mythosaur and redeem or bring Mandalorian to a new age or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he doesn't need to kill it. I don't think shit's killing that.
They just need to ride it.
I think he's gonna go back down and try to face it. Either him or Bo.
Or is Grogu gonna do it? Because
They would have to do it. They would have to do
Grogu
it
stopped
well.
that Rancor.
He did, but there's also part of the prophecy is that the ruler of Mandalore bathes in the living waters and sees the mythosaur, or rides on the back of it, yada yada. Grogu wasn't in the water. Grogu never saw it.
Okay.
So right now, with the information I have, oh Leon, we're in deep in spoiler territory. It's a fair warning. Right now, I think Mando's gonna think he has to do something with the mythosaur. I think the twist is that Bo Katan is going to be the one to actually become the ruler of Mandalore for real, like for real this time, and help bring. I don't think she's ever going to change the armorer's ways, but I think she's going to start rebuilding the Mandalorian people on Mandalore.
So do you think that Mando will, or Din, let's call him Din, do you think that he will maybe see the armor as like, you know what, I don't think I like this way of life, and just go with Bo-Katan?
I would say eventually. I think by the end of the season. He's already seen some of the error in his ways a little bit, and then it felt like season 2 is bringing us that way, and then it apparently just completely went back to him. Oh no, he's fixated in becoming Death Watch again. But yeah, I don't think he's going to end the season wanting to be Death Watch. That's my belief. Yeah. I think because like they made a lot of little hints to me, like I've never seen Mandalore, and then Bo-Katan says, well, I have, and it was beautiful, yada yada yada. Like Bo is much more fit to be the ruler of Mandalore than he is. And I think this is going to be his way of getting there. Because he technically might not have even seen the creature. Bo did. Bo's probably the only one to have actually seen it with her own eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, but
well, he was
Diego has a good idea. He says Ezra has that creature connection. Maybe Grogu does too.
Well, I think Grogu does because he put that Rancor to sleep.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I don't think that we're really, because Grogu's, he's 50 plus years old now, but he's still a baby, for that species. I don't think we've really even seen all the powers that he has. But right now, it looks like he might be the strongest Jedi-powered creature.
I mean, if he's, like you said, if he's this young and can do all this stuff.
He can heal. He can stop freaking large animals. Like,
yeah. I mean, because that's one thing I've always thought about, or thought that's interesting, especially in kind of like the expanded stuff in the books, is that often Jedi will have unique or unique-ish powers. Like Quinlan Voss has his psychometry, that's what it is. Yeah, he can touch an object and see its origin. It's the same as Cal Kestis has that. I mean, they're giving him a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, Grogu has heal, and he has that connection with creatures, and he doesn't even know what the fuck he's doing yet. Like he can't even talk.
You can see that, like, you can see that when he was sitting in the chair, just spinning it around and shit. You can tell he's still like immature. Like he doesn't know, like, Jedi. The reason Jedi don't like take out the trash with the Force is because they don't use it on things that are like everyday life. They use it when they have to use it, type thing, right? So it's like you have little Grogu just spinning himself around the chair, pulling up space M&Ms, off his desk and shit, and eating them.
Right.
So I think that he's just going to be kind of like a loose cannon.
Yeah. That seems to be how they use
he's not being taught like light side or dark side.
Right. He's just going to be a Force user.
Yeah. And then how do you tie him into where was he episode 7, 8, 9?
Well, where was the Ghost Crew? Where were the Rebels? And there's the Ghost is still seen in episode 9.
Yeah, but they were there.
Ish.
And
but
Commander
like, what?
Sedula was mentioned in Rogue One and all this
True.
other stuff, right?
True.
But you know, if he becomes so powerful as a force user, because we
Yeah.
can't say light or dark side because we don't know,
Right.
because he has nobody guiding him.
He's shown some signs of being angry with the Force.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, where he's choking out freaking old girl Cara Dune or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like he's kind of like a loose cannon with his force powers.
I agree. I want to see him use lightning, and I'll be just the happiest person you've ever seen. If he ever fucking just shoots out lightning from his fingertips, oh, sploosh.
Izuku, like I love Grogu. You don't. The camera's not on, but my whole background is like Grogu. Like I have Grogu everything.
We're Team
I love
Grogu
me some
around here.
Yeah, yeah. I love me some Grogu. And like I said earlier when I came in, was that I feel like season 3 is just Grogu. Like
I think it very well could be.
give me everything you can about Grogu. It's showing the cute side, it's showing his force side, and it's just like, just give it to me. And just give it to me.
Put it in my
Grogu
veins.
Daddy. I love it. I love it.
I like
I can't
Leon's
get enough of it.
statement here. Motherfucker is one with the universe, and he isn't even one with language.
It's true.
Yeah, damn chromas. I gotta get a blue screen so Grogu doesn't get chromed out.
Grogu's a force ghost. Oh my god.
Gross goo.
Ghost goo.
This is where he was in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
he was
well, and that's what
gross
you know,
goo.
like, because if you watch when they thought maybe he was gonna go get trained by Luke, and then there was those like, oh shit, Grogu was killed by Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then
he's not
surprised. Captain Jax has honestly replaced Rey with Grogu in the sequel trilogy, and I love it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Hey, you leave Rey Skywalker alone, all right?
See, I'm gonna controversial for Star Wars nowadays. I didn't hate the sequel trilogy, but this is a whole other conversation. We'd probably have to have a whole other session talking about.
We'll have to have like a Star Wars sad Sunday or something.
I think Rey was done dirty. I
think all the actors in that show.
Yes, I agree. Oh, especially fucking
Finn.
Finn. Why am I blanking on his name? But you know, John Boyega.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was so hyped when I saw him wielding a lightsaber on all the posters and shit, and like, I thought he was. There was so much they could have done. They could have done a parallel between Rey and Finn with like Jason, Jaina, Solo, and then opposite sides, but made it not related and made it that way. Or they could have done, they could have done all sorts of things, like the two of them together against Rey or against Kylo, or Kylo has to team up with Finn to take down Rey, who I thought they were actually going to have balls and make her turn evil, but nah. Like, there's so much that could have been done, and
they just turned him into a whiny bitch.
Is Grogu in the previous lore, or was he a new entity in the Star Wars? He was new in the Mandalorian. He was entirely new. We don't even know the name of his species. The only other species of that kind that I know of are Yoda and Yaddle, who are both. Well, Yoda's Yoda. Everyone knows Yoda, but Yaddle is Yaddle. Technically voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard. How is all the combination of names, whatever it is?
She was on the Jedi Council.
Yep.
Yaddle was.
She was until Dooku killed her. Spoiler.
Yep.
But okay, here's my, again, we'll probably have to have a whole nother session diving into this deeper. I still firmly believe, one, if the Duel of the Fates movie actually had gotten made the way that it was written originally by Colin, whoever the
Kravosky, whatever his name is.
The Empire
the guy that destroyed Jurassic World. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I think it would have been great, but as the alternative, even going with what they had, if Last Jedi didn't exist and Rise of Skywalker was 8 and 9, I think they would have been great movies. But 9 had to rush so much shit just to undo the complete U-turn that 8 was.
Oh my god!
Are you
Welcome
team
to Deep
8?
Dive.
Are you team 8?
No, I fucking hate it.
Oh, thank God. I knew you were
I
cool.
fucking hate it.
That was the first movie I left the theater being like, I did not like this.
I know. I was just like, what did I just watch? What did I watch?
Also, Diego says Yaddle is a baddie, and I think that's obvious. Like, we all know that.
For real.
Solid 11 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe Yaddle and Yoda's baby is Grogu. Oh.
I wish, but I don't think they have the balls for that.
No, no, they don't.
And technically, he was trained at the temple, so there's that little thing.
Yeah, 8 was a major letdown. And like I don't understand the whole like I'm not telling you guys what we're doing at all. Like I'm the general. You know, it was just a fucking power move and it was just fucking
Dude,
not necessary.
can you imagine if she had just been like, this is what I'm going to do. Keep your shit together. Don't go on any other crazy missions. I'm going to take one for the team. I know you don't like it. Shut the fuck up and lead the rest of the people to safety.
Yes.
Like, then he doesn't have to go off and do his own shit and worry about all this stuff and have a worthless side storyline.
Fucking scene. It's like,
and like, there's no benefit to keeping your top officers in the dark on something like that. Like, as a military guy, it hurts me. Like,
I know.
Just say one thing. Like, I'm gonna do this. It's stupid, I know. It's the only way I see out. Unless you have a better idea, this is what I'm doing. Deal with it.
And then you could like really like get rid of that Canto Blight scene. Get rid of it. Like I thought it was cool to introduce the gambling planet, but I just don't.
It wasn't
like,
needed.
I was so hyped up for Benicio del Toro to be in Star Wars, and for his, I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh God, what am I watching right now? Please, God.
Diego, technically they did for Kia di Mundi, and was he a moon? No, Cerulean. Fucking his species name. God, I've forgotten more about Star Wars than I'll ever know. Kia di Mundi, Saurian. Yes, his species is like endangered. So yeah, Kia di Mundi, the conehead.
Oh yeah.
He be fucking. True story. Yeah, the problem with Rose, yeah, she was the line will beat him with love as you're sitting in the middle of an open field with a Death Star ray like right there. Like, what?
I know. I was just like,
what? Star Wars had some cheesy moments, but never that blatant and in your face.
It was so bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I am not on Team 8. Team 9, I was just kind of hoping. I was like, all right, J.J. Abrams is back.
Yep.
Maybe he can save it. And he didn't. You know, it's just like...
I think he did about as well as he could have with what he was given, though.
How the fuck do you kill Snoke like that?
Dude.
The main bad guy.
And then that's why they had to panic and be like, well, Palpatine's back, I guess. The throwaway opening line. Or somehow Palpatine returns.
Somehow Palpatine survived.
The most infamous line in all of Star Wars. That's because the last director cut every thread. Every plot thread was just cut and then singed. Like there was no hope.
Did you not hear about the Clone Wars? Did you not hear about that? Like did they not exist? Like history books not exist? You know, like I don't get it. Like oh, it's bigger than a Death Star. You know, you got the planet, you know, whatever, I can't remember, Star Killer base, right? And then you got somehow Palpatine survived. Well, obviously you knew he died.
Yep.
But so go back a little bit further in history, there's clones. So don't be surprised. Like, hey, apparently they cloned Palpatine. Like, can we just change the line?
Right.
Change the fucking line. It was just, oh my God. I was just like, what?
Which the only good that will potentially come out of that, because again, I'm trying to hold out hope that they can save some of these threads, because they did with like the inhibitor chips and things like that. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Palpatine 2, final palpitation.
Exactly.
That's fucking good. I'm trying to hold out hope, and I've heard a rumor that they're leaning into the Heir to the Empire series, the Thrawn original trilogy, in Mandalorian and Ahsoka, which would be really interesting because they tease some of the cloners in Mandalorian already, and that would be interesting if they could pull it off. Obviously, they'd have to adapt it a bit, but like Thrawn could be off trying to figure out how to clone Force sensitives. And I hope they introduce Isla Mari in Ahsoka, because that would be a great counter for her. Not being able to feel the Force all of a sudden would be sick.
Yeah, I just think that Ahsoka is going to be really good, and the Acolyte series.
I was about to say, Acolyte's going to be a sleeper. I'm telling you, no one's expecting shit from it. And I'm telling you, we have been dying for a Sith. Well, I have been dying for a Sith-centric story.
Yes. I think Acolyte is going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be incredible.
So, hopefully it's...
Apparently, I think it was Jon Favreau said that what he's seen is incredible. And I'm like, oh, okay. No pressure. Two power fuel.
Oh my god.
Palpatine Part 2, Electric Force Boogaloo. Yeah, Acolyte is definitely the sleeper show in my opinion. No one's
like good to go on to 9. Like there's so many moments in that movie that I was just wasted. Right? Like you got Rey teetering with the light and the dark side, and she fucking lightning bolts the fucking transport that she thinks Chewie's on there, right? And there was a moment like, oh my god, she just killed Chewbacca, right? She just killed the last remaining fucking character, right? And then we don't even get a fucking 20 minutes. The next scene,
it's not even 5 minutes, man. It's like it's
the next shot.
He's there. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you not know anything about emotional weight? Like you don't. It's like, oh well, that fucking means nothing. Like at that point, I was like, what? Like, are you expecting us to fucking care about anything now?
Opportunity to show what her power could have fucking been and what it causes,
and how terrifying it could be. Yep.
And then she fucking the next scene. Oh, Chewie's alive! I was just like, oh, fuck me. Like, please, can we just fast forward this fucking movie? Like, I was just so mad. Lando Calrissian trying to bang his daughter. Fucking.
You got those vibes too, right? Oh, let's find out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, that's probably your daughter.
I was just like, oh. No, you're not alone, you know. And then the entire Star Wars fucking spaceship fucking encyclopedia book is there. Of course, you know, you gotta have Star Destroyers popping out of the fucking ice shelf with fully crewed fucking what?
I'm a dork. I was happy enough there were red stormtroopers. I was like, I like Sith troopers. Those are cool. And then it's like, oh, every Star Destroyer has a Death Star cannon. Cool. That's neat.
Yeah, it's like, thanks. Yeah, it's just fucking shit. It pissed me off.
Chat, y'all are so funny. I'm reading everything, by the way. I just don't want to interrupt their train of thought either. But
sorry.
No. Don't ever apologize. No, please. Yeah, like there could have been a stormtrooper rebellion that they could have started. There could have been so much shit. Just take out Cannonbite and replace that with him starting to, you know, build a stormtrooper rebellion with First Order troopers that have gotten out. You could have met a group of them, and then they could have known people, and then they could have backup. But yeah, obviously I'm just going to start sending nudes all the time. That's kind of what I do. I'm known as the nude guy. Anyway, I don't know. It's inevitable. It always gets to it. Yeah, 9 just... But like, if they had time to fully flesh out some of those storylines, I think it had potential.
I don't buy it. I don't buy the time thing. I just don't buy it. Like it because Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012.
Oh no, I don't mean Disney as a whole. I mean like if 9 had the time of 8 and 9 is all I meant by that.
Yeah. Okay.
But I agree with you 100%. Disney just got excited. They're like, we got Star Wars, let's pump these fuckers out. And all the Star Wars fans are like, "You're gonna make them good, right?"
Yeah.
they're gonna be
And,
good,
and
right?
7 was a little hopeful. It was like, okay.
It was New
little-
Hope Part 2. Like, I
Yeah,
had no
yeah, it was
problems
like,
with
okay.
it. I wasn't
Yeah,
blown
it was like,
away by
alright.
it, but I was like, okay, I'm invested.
Yeah.
One of the
And
first
then 8.
scenes, he stops a fucking laser bolt in midair. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay. This guy's not to be fucked with.
Yeah, I just didn't know they're going to destroy every character arc in,
Can
in the stories.
Can
8
we
and 9.
agree? Can we agree Adam Driver was the best actor in all of the sequels?
Yes.
Thank you. Finally.
He was the best actor. I just don't like what they did to him, but he was the best actor.
I agree. It was cheap at the end. Like, the only reason or only way I would have been happy with him kind of turning back to the light is if it was to kill Rey.
Yes.
I
Make
think
her
that would have
fucking
been
evil.
so much more compelling. And then it could be he had to kill Rey. He could die in the process. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
It would have so much emotional weight. But you would know
Yeah.
he only did it because
And
he's...
then it would.
And then
it
you
would
could get
mean
Finn.
more.
Finn could try to start figuring out the Jedi shit because they kind of implied he's a little force sensitive, or he loved her. Either one.
Yeah. But it would also mean more when she found out that she was a Palpatine.
Right?
I'd be like, oh, I guess it's just genetics. She goes evil, right? Like it's just has to happen, you know? Like,
But like even yeah, I mean the Palpatine thing, I think kind of going back to Captain Jack, I think he said it, the Palpatine 2 would have worked, but they just did it so wrong. I agree with you, but I love Ian McDermott. I think he's incredible as Palpatine. It's not unprecedented for Palpatine to come back in Star Wars. In the EU, he gets cloned, and he's a clone, and then he transfers his Force essence into other clone bodies and other stuff. And Luke turns to the dark side for a while. Like, nothing's impossible in Star Wars if you set it up.
right.
But just to have a throwaway line, and then the most characters you're super invested in and have so much meaning, you can't just throw them in there and just plug it like a cork. Like, oh, this goes in there now.
No,
it
we
just
fixed
felt
it.
cheap, you know?
Yeah. It was very cheap.
Have a good night, Diego. Appreciate you, man. Okay, hold on. Captain Jack. Was 65 any good? Because part of me wants to see Adam Driver, Jurassic Park, but also potentially The Last of Us because he's keeping a small woman or girl child alive. Like, seems to be the trope this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
You signing off with a Hail Hydra? Diego, come on, man. At least go like
Hail Hydra.
peace is a lie. There's only passion. Or like, come on, something. Hit me with something, Sith.
Now, I want to see 65, right?
I do too.
I wish. This is what I wish, and this is what I don't like about movie trailers, right? And I wish that they would have like shown him landing on this planet and not shown what he was fighting.
Yep.
Right.
Make
So
it like
it'd been-
Alien.
Yeah, like you just see it, like so when you go into the theater, then you just realize like, oh fuck, like these guys are from another planet and they found Earth fucking during the dinosaur. Like I think it would have been a lot more like shocking development, like when you're seeing it, but I just wish they would have done it better, like on the trailer wise.
You had us in the first laugh. Not gonna lie.
Well, they put it in the droid.
Yeah.
Is a memory like, but those droids are like on all those ships.
The Operation Cinder droids. Yeah. That was very on brand for Palpatine. And actually, over the Aftermath series, if you've heard of those, it's basically culminates in the Battle of Jakku, shortly after the Empire falls. But that does a good job of setting up a lot of these threads so much better. Like all the expanded media always does such a better job than at least the sequels. I mean, the originals I think did just fine.
Well, I didn't think there's more people that like give a shit about the storylines.
Right. To
Vice giving a shit about like how much money we're gonna make, because we're just gonna make $1 billion in the theaters because it has the title Star Wars on it. And we could literally show fucking Luke Skywalker taking a shit for 2.5 hours and people
Which
go
they
pay
basically
for it
did.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Luke Skywalker. It was J.J. Abrams taking a shit on film for fucking 2.5 hours, and fucking Ryan Johnson.
Oh,
Yeah.
his was just explosive diarrhea.
And,
That
and
was,
I had so much hype for. I was
Dude.
so hyped up for Ryan Johnson because I love the movie Looper, and I just thought like it was gonna be
he
so
does
fucking
Looper.
good.
I like Looper.
Yeah, yeah,
a great
Looper's
movie.
great, and he does the glass series, the Glass Onion, or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck you
Knives
wanna
Out
call
was
them.
really good.
Knives Out. He does those, right?
Mhm.
Well, you know what? Good.
Just don't
Stick
give him
to
a
those
Star Wars
fucking
movie.
movies. Stick to those movies. Never come
Mhm.
back. Thanks for your fucking shit.
Mhm.
Appreciate it. Thanks for pooping on screen for 2.5 fucking hours. I'll tell you what.
Tell us how you really feel, man.
I have rewatched Solo, and I have not rewatched 8 and 9.
I have made myself rewatch 8 twice, I believe, and every time I'm looking for just one part of it to latch onto, and I hate it worse every time.
She fucking crashes the ship at light speed, and they're just in the hangar bay
Mhm.
on top of a fucking
Mhm.
headless ATA,
Yeah.
ATST, and I'm just like,
If you get into the logistics of that whole thing and what that would mean for the Star Wars universe, it's mind-blowing. Like, if the rebels knew they could kamikaze a ship, just put a fucking droid on a ship and send it into hyperspace. Take
Yeah.
out a Star Destroyer.
Yep.
Boom. Cake.
I mean, they could still run around the hangar bay in it
within the
no
hour.
problem at all. They
Yeah.
could still fight in the hangar bay and fucking.
Yeah, just take out the command center, I guess, and let them just float around in not space, but kind of space.
They did Captain Phasma wrong. Oh,
Twice.
yes, twice.
I love her too.
I know. I thought she was gonna be so awesome, and it's
Mhm.
just like, you are horrible. You're a horrible fighter.
Okay, she's coming back for 8. Sweet. Nope, still shit.
Yep.
She just dies again.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
just
man.
really poorly written and
And just no,
executed.
and then like
But
to
that's
see
why-
that compared with shows like the Mando or
Yeah.
Andor, it's like, come on, if you just give it to the people who truly care and can tell a story.
Like Gareth
My God.
Edwards and Tony Gilroy and fucking Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, just Kathleen Kennedy and all the executives of Disney, just fucking sit back,
Mm-hmm.
shut the fuck up, let the adults make the movies, and you'll make billions.
I know.
Billions.
Can you imagine if they had
Just-
that degree of production with an actually good story and character development? Oh my god.
It'd be
So much
great.
money. Print money.
You wouldn't have all this fucking hatred and fucking like what the fuck are y'all doing? Like,
Captain
Oh,
Jack, I
God.
agree with you. He said, I don't get why they couldn't have just thrown a droid into the ship instead of Holdo, but I'm glad she died a fiery death. Yeah, anyone that just... I'm a general. I don't need to tell you my plan, even though you're my top most trusted officer.
yeah. Yeah,
Fucking
like I'm in
bullshit.
the Navy. If the
Fucking-
fucking captain of the ship just said, "Hey guys, like you're just gonna do whatever the fuck I tell you to do,"
Mm-hmm.
and we're just getting attacked, and we're sitting there like, "Fucking, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Can we get a fucking battle plan? Like, can we
Mhm.
fucking figure something out? Are we gonna do something?" You know, and it just causes fucking dumbass fucking Finn and Rose to go to a fucking
Mm-hmm.
stupid ass fucking thing to come up with a token to get past this other bullshit. Causes Poe Dameron to fucking be all like, "Oh, I'm gonna start a fucking my own rebellion on this ship." Oh, this is like so dumb.
I don't disagree with you, man. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, you gotta think at some point someone's gonna get on top of that cruiser and take off with the fucking planes and try to do something if no one knows
Yeah.
something's happening. So
Yeah,
like,
fuck
why?
this shit?
Yeah.
Like,
Ugh.
yeah, and then you were like,
Fucking
exactly
sequels.
like your point. Droids fly ships.
Mm-hmm.
It's mentioned all through Star Wars, but I forgot in episode 7, 8, 9, we don't know anything about Star Wars
Nope.
because there's part like they can fly, they can fly, they can fly, they can
Nope.
fly.
Nope.
It's like, yes, motherfucker, the stormtroopers have jetpacks. Like that's not new, right? Like that's not a new fucking revelation.
Everything
you
can
know,
fly.
like you know, like what the fuck, right? So then, flying's for droids, right? Obi-Wan says it, and then you got
Mhm.
fucking put a goddamn droid in there, get your dumbass out of the seat, fucking take your little shuttle back to the fucking red planet, whatever the fuck it was called,
Right.
and continue. Like, hey, we're
Hoth
gonna fly a
2.0.
droid into this shit. Dumb.
That's I'm embarrassed and yet just more sad to say this, but before episode 8, I was telling everyone that all the pieces were in place for this to be as good, if not better, than Empire Strikes Back. And I'm embarrassed to say it now, but more just sad for what they did. Because, like, 7 was A New Hope Part 2. We all know it. It wasn't anything new. But, like, we have a new cast, but we also have the old cast in play. Like, there could be an ultimate movie in 8. And they're like, no, we're going to subvert expectations because fuck you.
Yeah.
All right.
And General
cool.
Hux, he's all like, it was me, I'm the spy. It's like, shut the
And he's such a better actor than that, too.
I
That's the
know.
sad part. Did Finn not know they had a flying unit? There's so many questions. Like, so many. I'm bummed out. But the Mythosaur.
Yeah, but anyways, back to Mandalorian. The savior.
Okay, so let's pull it back. Not even the season, which I guess I still need your full prediction other than Grogu's going to be Mandalore. What do you think is going to happen in episode 3? What are the next steps?
Well, I think that obviously, because Bo-Katan has seen, the Mythosaur, and then she's gonna be like, I think it's kind of like gonna open her eyes that all of what she has been taught and what she was, because she was kind of like mocking it, like,
Yeah.
oh, look, here's the plaque that I had to fucking read and recite because I'm royalty and blah 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 blah. It's all bullshit, Mando. It's all bullshit. Going down to the waters is not gonna do anything. And I think it's gonna like, seeing that, it kind of opens her eyes like, oh, this is bigger than what I expected it to be. I was a royalty fucking this girl, that, yeah, I deserve to be the freaking Mandalore because that's what I was. It was my family lineage, right? And I wanted to come back, but it's gone. But now then when she sees that, it's like, it's not gone, right? And it's real, and maybe there's some truth behind all the lore and the fantasies and that she thought growing up. And now it's going to like turn her motivation a little bit back into maybe we need to get this motherfucking rolling again.
Interesting.
And maybe build up the hatred, not hatred, but more like the desire of like, I need to get this fucking Darksaber from this guy that can't even control it. And
Interesting.
maybe cause that rift between them two.
Yeah, because I don't think she's even seen him try to wield it yet. I guess at the end of last season, he had pistols out. He was ready to fight with pistols, I think, more than the saber.
No, she hasn't seen him use it because he used it in front of the armorer and was getting his ass kicked with it because it kept getting heavier.
Right. Yeah. So you think she's almost going to pull back more towards his beliefs? Do you think they're going to kind of create that middle ground and
I don't
live
know if it's
happily
going to
ever
be
after
his
and
beliefs,
make Mando
but
babies?
I think there's going to be. Oh well, maybe it'll be towards. I don't think she's going to go like full on like I can't take my helmet off type mode, right? Because like the Night Watch is fucking the zealots of the fucking Mandalorians, but I think it's going to be like. Is she gonna like, oh fuck, this is bigger and more real than I thought it was? And it's kind of like, when you grow up and you go to freaking, Bible school, right? Or Sunday school or some shit, and you're reading all this stuff like, Noah fucking was 600 years old and he built the fucking ark in 100 years, and you're kind of like, what? Like, what? And then like and then you meet Noah. It's like, oh fuck! Like, shit, this is real. Like I think it's gonna like kind of like reinforce her faith in the whole Mandalorian lore. Like what they, what she was taught growing up as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
interesting.
We'll see what happens.
I think it's episode 3 is just going to be 47 minutes of them going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, just on repeat. That's
Yeah.
I think it's the most logical way that it could
Or
end.
do you think that she doesn't tell him?
The thought occurred to me.
That she doesn't tell him what she saw, because she wants the control. She wants Mandalore back. We all know that. She wants that power back.
Mm-hmm. But
So
like she doesn't want to. It's weird because this last episode made me rethink that part a little bit, because I think she wants it back, but she's also kind of, to your point, seems defeated because she could have taken it. Like I still don't understand what's stopping her from challenging Mando one-on-one, especially after episode 1. She's like, you stand for everything that fucking ruined my reign, ruined my home. Your people sided with the Empire, your people did this, and this. And
well, when the Nubian fighter is coming back, right?
mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh god, he's back. Like, let's make it his last time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was ready to kill him then.
I thought so too, and then she's just like, "Oh my god, get away!" It's like, come on. Like before she saw it was Grogu, she's like, "Why do I have to tell you?" It's like she didn't have I don't know, if she'd come out with a blaster drawn or something, I'd be okay. She's ready to fucking kill him.
Yeah,
I don't know. So I'm not sure is what I'm trying to say, and that's one thing I fucking love about living in the time we do. We're getting new Star Wars every week.
Now, let me ask you this. And
Yes.
this doesn't have to do anything. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but it doesn't really have to do with anything with Star Wars. It's more of today in the world of streaming.
Okay.
Right? We're streaming, like Netflix. When Netflix released, we were getting episodes like, oh, look, here's a new season. Bam, watch it all in fucking 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or a day and a half. Just binge watch, right? The era of binge watching became a thing, right? And then people just became addicted to it, right? And then they fucking were like, just give me more. Give me more. I need more. Then I can fucking sit here on a Saturday and binge a whole fucking season because I grew up watching it weekly, right? Do you think that having this every Wednesday is a good thing or a bad thing?
I have
Like, were they weekly
answer
releases?
for that.
Okay, go ahead.
This is gonna hurt me to say, especially on record, but I think it's a good thing that they're weekly, because I would absolutely binge it in one day and I would talk about it, but then in a couple months I would just be sad that I'm not getting more.
Yes.
And I think
I am 100% with you.
This I hate it. It hurts that I have to wait, but I also really get excited about it. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm a kid again, and I'm that excited to see Star Wars again.
And what I love about it, right? And I love that, like, a lot of the really good TV shows are going to the weekly releases, like The Boys and the freaking Mando series and Andor. They're going to those weekly releases because, like, it reminds me of when Game of Thrones was coming out, right? And Game of Thrones came out Sunday night, and then when that was going on, Monday morning, you spent 2.5 hours talking about the fucking episode, right? It brought people together, right? It brought fucking
I have watch parties like every week.
Watch parties, and then you had those fucking like, oh my god, like what the fuck, Jon Snow died,
There's
like
a
all
dragon.
that shit. Yeah, like the dragon. When are we gonna see the dragons? It's been 4 fucking seasons, right? It's just like, like all those episodes, and that's what I love about having it the weekly releases, because you can do things like this, like what we're doing right now. We can have those conversations about what is coming up with the next episode, what is our theories and all this other stuff. It gives that excitement, which I think has been lacking for that freaking 10 plus years of just dumping fucking content out as fast as they could and leaving the audience like, all right, well, great, I watched it all in 2 days and I'm ready for the next one. The next one's gonna be another fucking year. Great.
I think especially for the big IPs, I think it's important to continue it that way. For like random Netflix originals or whatever, I have no problem with it being all at once, because frankly, I probably wouldn't wait week to week and I'd forget it exists. But for things like Star Wars or Witcher, oh yeah, Stranger Things is a good example. That one's kind of become. I wish they would do that
with Stranger Things.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Because you can't talk about it at work, because you like watch like, all right, I'll watch 2 episodes, and then fucking some dickhead watched the whole fucking season, and you're like, Oh, I don't know where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to talk to you about because I don't want you to fucking spoil for me. Like, I think major
Mhm.
shows that have spoiler points and all that other shit should be a weekly release. It should be
I agree with
written
you.
into law in executive order. You know, like weekly fucking weekly releases. Just do it.
Hell yeah.
Just give us something to be excited about.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, give humans hope again. Stop shoving it down our throat.
I agree with you. I think some of that anticipation is definitely lost these days. Captain Jack agrees with us. He says it's so hype, like you said, to watch all the reviews and lives and stuff. Wrath, what do you feel? Do you like weekly releases or do you like binging it all at once? Vox Machina is actually one. I'd never played D&D, and I still like that show. Never seen Critical Role. I like that show. Fun fact for you. Yeah, it's neither here nor there. I agree with you, man. It hurts me because it's like the instant gratification part of me wants it now, but I know it's better for me and more enjoyable this way.
Right. He said release the whole fucking season all at once, huh?
Everyone else is arguing against that. I'm sorry, Wrath. You're outnumbered here.
Yeah, I don't think for shows like this or like Andor or shit. I mean, they're even
Witcher
weekly.
or
They're like where you have like you gotta have something to talk about. You know, like
Mhm.
it's got to give you that like that I know my days because I know that tomorrow is fucking Wednesday because it's
Mhm.
Mandalorian Wednesday. You know, and I knew that Sunday
Mhm.
like it was something to look forward to. Like, oh fuck, man, it made the week go by quicker.
It did.
Almost.
I'm already gonna
You know,
have
like
a void because I was eating Pedro Pascal good. I was getting Last of Us on Sundays
yeah.
and fucking Mando's on Wednesdays. And I was just keeping that cadence. And it's like, well, shit. Now I only get one Pedro Pascal a week. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, watch Narcos.
I've never seen Narcos, so I might have to. Yeah.
I learned Spanish from Narcos. I learned all my Spanish from Narcos. I downloaded it. Had a long flight from
Hell yeah.
Chicago to Japan or Hawaii to Japan or
Ooh.
whatever the fuck I was going.
That will do
And
it.
I watched every episode and I learned Spanish.
Muy
great.
bien. E2.
C D. Yeah, it was
Mind of mercy though, you're dipping out. I saw that. I appreciate you. Go game. Much love, man. Sorry to interrupt, man. But
got to get that boom boom boom. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that I would enjoy Mandalorian. I would enjoy it because it's like, all right, cool, I got it all out of the way and shit, but
you
know, but I don't think it'd be the same level of excitement.
because as painful as it is, part of the joy of Star Wars was waiting until the next time you could get that story fulfilled. And like with the movies, we had to wait 3 years between each one. Like I remember when the prequels, you know, I wasn't there for the originals. Still my biggest regret. I heard they're actually re-releasing Return of the Jedi for the 40th anniversary, and I still want to see that in theaters. But
I watched. So just to show my age, I watched Return of the Jedi in the theaters.
I'm so fucking jealous. I'm so jealous.
My dad took me to watch it.
That's something I'll always be jealous of my dad of.
I didn't get to see the originals, but or like 4 and 5, you know, in the theaters. But
yeah, I missed it. But like that feeling coming out of the prequels and knowing you had to wait 3 years, but having 3 years to talk about the hype. And I remember being hyped for it. And then when the trailer would come up for the next one, you know, 6 months out or whatever it was, it was just nothing but hype about that. And then, the anticipation and, like you said, the discussions with people is part of what makes Star Wars great, in my opinion.
yeah, and how do you think I feel, right? So I watched Return of the Jedi in theaters. I didn't get another Star Wars. I didn't get another Star Wars till 1999. You know, it's just like I think Return of the Jedi came in like 84, 85. You know, so it was like, you know, it was like I remember the like being all excited. I was like in high school. I was just about to join the Navy.
That's
I think I was
awesome.
in high school, right? And I remember them like George Lucas. He's like, I'm making episode 1, and I was just like, fuck yes, yes, more Star Wars. You know, like it was so exciting because they were just releasing like, hey, look, we got the box set. You know, we got the THX version. We got the freaking special edition ones. You know, it was just like, and I had them all. Like
Han shot first.
I used to like, use like my sound system and my
Mhm.
like for my home setup back
Yep.
with the big old tube TV and the fucking
Yep.
giant
CRTs,
speakers.
baby.
It was Star Wars the opening, right, with the THX,
Hmm.
you know, like that hum and shit. It was just
I watched episode 5 so many times for the original version that it broke. The VHS tape broke.
yeah, me too.
And we got the digitals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still remember the look of the case. I remember
Mhm.
five is my favorite. That's the one that
Oh, it's
stuck with
the
me the
best.
most. It was formative for me, man. It showed me like a different side than you just typically see in Hollywood. It showed me that sometimes there is fucking darkness out there and you
Yeah.
gotta push through it. And
And
I love
so,
the Battle of Hoth. I love all of it.
oh, it's the greatest battle ever,
Right?
right? And so my buddy, I was in the Navy. It was like my first ship. It was a duty day. And my buddy was like, I've never seen Star Wars. So the next duty day, I brought the Star Wars in. I was like, we're
Mhm.
gonna watch it, right? And this was, I don't think episode 1 had came out.
Mhm.
It had already come out. But I was like, we're not gonna watch episode 1. We're gonna start with 4, 5, and 6, right? So we
Of
watched 4,
course.
right? And he was like, oh, it's good, it's good. And we put 5, and it started, and he was like, bro, I'm on the edge of my fucking seat. Like, there's just so much shit like changing. Like everything's like it was
Mhm.
just a different feel from episode 4. Like just watching him experience Star Wars was fucking awesome. Like and like
Mhm.
just seeing his eyes, like, oh my god, like what is going on? Like
5 made it
Hoth
feel
battle,
like a
escaping Hoth,
true
fucking
galactic war. Like you felt it as a war, as a struggle. And then, of course, the Vader reveal was
yeah.
the best of all time.
Yeah, and
Like-
you just feel the fist of the Empire like closing
Exactly.
on
That's why I love Andor. Because
rebellion.
to me, I explained it to someone, my buddies, is this. Andor felt like how I viewed the Empire since episode 5. And
Yes.
you fully feel it in Andor, but just at a different level. Like, there's no Jedi that's going to come save you in Andor. It's people just trapped in
Yes.
fist, exactly, the fist of the Empire. It captured the feeling I originally got from 5 so fucking well. You know what I mean?
Bro, the last episode, the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
So damn good.
so good. The music,
Mm-hmm.
the freaking her speech.
Mm-hmm.
Just the uprising. Him with his little pipe bomb, that he makes, and he just fucking yeets it into the fucking thing. It just lights it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, open fire. And they're just mowing down civilians that have no guns. And they're just
Right.
fighting. It was just so good, man.
And like,
Like,
I love the part like how they show the Empire too, and that most of them are just sitting fat and happy.
yeah.
But like they're just so fucking powerful that they don't think anything can touch them.
Yeah.
And like even what those people consider a major insurrection was like a blip on their radar,
Mhm.
and didn't garner the attention of people until it was too late. But like, there's no Inquisitors in that. There's no Vader in that. You don't need them because
No.
it's more the military machine put on display, and it's so well done.
Yeah. The Coruscant scenes in that were great.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But-
when she's in the Senate, and she's giving her speech.
Mm-hmm.
And then oh god, there's just so much good shit about this show.
Mm-hmm.
The parts with Saul Guerrera and fucking Lutherans, like, we're just gonna kill him for war. Like it's because of war. Like we just
Yep.
have to do this. Like he's like,
Mhm.
you're gonna sacrifice the whole group. Like, and you see it like the first time
Mm-hmm.
in Saul's character, you see him like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like Saul. Saul Guerrero is a fucking brutal motherfucker.
Right.
And he's looking at this dude like, bro,
I would
like-
never.
like, what the fuck? Like, you're taking out our army, but you had to
Mhm.
fucking bait them into it. Like, let them feel comfortable, right?
'Cause, yeah,
And it's
if
just
you-
like you just sacrificed them. Like,
Yep. It
and
was-
what's so powerful about that is like they didn't have to show that battle.
Nope.
You just see the Empire fucking
It's an
celebrating.
off-screen
like, oh,
death,
yay, we
and you
did it.
know, yep.
Oh,
And just it lends weight to everything because, you know, you had just met the informant, so you know that he has someone in there, and you know his reasons for not giving that up. And then to see Saw, who's like unhinged, and you can see him visibly becoming more unhinged, like you said, to just be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, all right, I guess we gotta do this. And oh, so well done. And to that point, I think that's one show that I think would have been worse off with more cameos, especially in season 1. Later seasons, sure, I think you can introduce people casually, slowly. But like an Inquisitor maybe, but like Saw was the perfect one because he's kind of a secondary character in Rogue One anyway.
yeah.
And to see a glimpse of what got him to there, it was very on character for him. And then, like you said, to have that moment of even the guy who's literally insane by the time we first see him in Rogue One, to see him be like, oh shit, that's fucking nuts. Like, it's like, okay, Luthen will do anything for his mission.
Sacrifice it all.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so good.
it was so good. So yeah, so I am also, if we're gonna go on to like the best Star Wars movies, I would say that Episode 5, of course, you know, Empire Strikes Back, the best movie,
Hands down.
followed by Rogue One.
Interesting.
Because Rogue One, to me, is fucking fantastic.
It's very, very good.
It's so good.
I don't want to say problem, but my issue with it is I don't give a fuck about Jin or even Andor in that movie. I don't fucking care about them at all. Especially Jin.
I can see that, but like when they go to what's that planet?
Scarif?
Beach planet. Scarif. When they go to Scarif and K2SO is at that console, you know, and he's fending off the fucking stormtroopers. And when he dies, I was like, they're not making it out of this.
Yeah.
I was like, when he went down, I was like, they're all gone.
Yep.
Like every one of these people are dying. Like I was
I'm
just
glad
sitting
they
there
had the
like
balls for it.
but that's when I was like, I felt something for the characters. Like, and I felt like what they were doing and the sacrifice that they did, you know, and how it leads up to Episode 4, you know, like you see like in the beginning of Episode 4, the opening scroll, it talks about, you know, getting the battle plans, right? But you don't know the fight. Right. And to have those characters, you know, and you get a little bit of character development, you know, and you see kind of how Andor is in that episode where he fucking, you know, like when you first meet Andor, he blasts that dude that gives him the information, you know, and it was just like, and then he mentions it with Jin, like, you don't know what I've done. You don't know what I've seen, you know, for this rebellion, you know, like, and now to get to experience it with Andor. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, and we're really just getting a taste of it right now. And I think Andor season 2 is going to be off the fucking chain.
I agree with you there. My thing is, in Rogue One specifically, I cared so much more about the secondary characters than I did about Jin or Andor. K2SO, incredible. Chirrut Imwe, incredible. His friend, I always forget his name, incredible. Fucking great characters.
The pilot.
Yeah. Bodhi. I know. Oh my God. All the random names. But yeah, it was just cool to see that. But I will say that is one instance of having Vader show up.
Oh my
really
God.
Sealed the deal. I think the way they used him is great. I think if he had been pervasive the whole movie, it would have been a mistake. But having him just show up as a fucking terror, and again, that's another instance of seeing it on screen the way that I imagine it. His terror being.
Yeah.
Oh my!
And just like
God, that scene is still
the whole scene where it's just like
top tier star.
You know, the alarm's going off, and they just turn around, and it's just like
as soon as you see the long shot of the hallway,
you're just like, oh fuck! And they're like, you know, and they're just trying to shoot and survive. You know, he's like, go, you know, like,
and he just shoves the guy against the ceiling, cuts him on the way too, just to fucking
slashes him. Oh,
while blocking
God, it was
bolts
so
with one
good.
hand. Oh, so incredible. And just effortless.
It really solidified Vader's villainous, like how.
Mhm.
And I think in Obi-Wan, you got to
I
see it
agree.
as well. Like when he was like going through the town and he's looking for Obi-Wan, he's just fucking breaking people's necks as he's walking through it. It's just like, holy shit.
Mhm.
And then dragging Obi-Wan through the fire, like you're gonna fucking feel what you put me through, motherfucker.
Mhm.
Like,
He
oh
was just toying with him.
yeah.
Oh, but dude, that we didn't even talk Kenobi, but that end fight scene with
Oh
Vader.
yeah.
Oh,
And
I
his
am
voice
not
is
your
changing.
failure, Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Yes.
I killed him. I was like,
Yeah. Like his voice is changing from
Yep.
Anakin's to Darth Vader's. It was just like, oh my god.
Talk about cinematography. You'll notice too, like when it first cracks open, you see a lot of blue on the screen,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, maybe there is a chance for redemption. And then when he fucking says, "No, I killed him," like it goes back fully red.
Yeah.
It's so well done.
Yeah, that was a great fight scene.
I've heard people say that was underwhelming. I'm like, I thought it was incredible. Like maybe the series as a whole, I got some gripes with it, but
I think that a lot of people were not fans of Princess Leia.
I
Princess Leia is,
wasn't for
little
the first
character.
episode or two, but then she really grew on me by the end.
Yeah.
She really grew on me.
Yeah,
Like-
I think that I think she did a great job as the little actress that played her, but I think that like the chase scene, they make fun of it,
That's pretty bad. The chase
It
scene is
is.
pretty bad.
Yeah, and
But,
I
like-
think that and what's her name? The other Inquisitor, the main one,
Reva.
like- yeah, I just think that her character could have been better.
I agree. She was edgy for no reason at the beginning, and then not really good enough to be that edgy.
And I'm just so tired of the characters in that show. And I get the Sith main Inquisitor had the fucking 2 stomachs or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many stomach shots can we take with a lightsaber? And just she takes one from Darth Vader and just
Mhm.
goes back to Tatooine and helps find Luke.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where people kind of got it. But I thought it was a good series. I thought it was good. It was like the homage part where they're going back and showing Anakin and him fighting younger,
Mhm. And then they
was
use those
obviously
same
cool.
moves
And they use
in
those
their
fights.
later.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
part was
and
really cool.
it was cool to show that and the lessons that Obi-Wan was teaching Anakin, and that he kind of knew how Anakin was feeling,
Mhm.
and how he used that against him. But yeah,
And the ship. Let's be honest. Seeing
Yeah,
Vader
yeah, that
rip
was
that
cool.
fucking ship out of the sky and then rip the side off of it, I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's a fucking beast.
Yeah. But
He's
yeah,
a beast.
I agree. A lot of the subplots didn't really hit the mark for me, but I think the main core of between Kenobi and Anakin, I think was had the weight it needed to. But
Yeah,
dude,
it was good. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't.
I'm not
wouldn't
gonna
say-
rewatch it all the time, but
Yeah,
it's there.
like it's not on the level of Mandalorian and Andor.
Right. I actually hope they don't make a season 2 of it.
Yeah, I
Which
don't
might
think
be-
they need to.
Which might be an I don't know, unpopular opinion, but obviously I love Ewan McGregor and I'll lick the ground he walks on, but I think it did what it needed to, and if you try to keep finding ways to fit him in that time that we know he didn't do all that much, is going to get harder and harder.
Yeah, I don't. Here's everything we need to know. Obi-Wan, however, the show left a door open for more, and now there is a lot of speculation about Obi-Wan season 2. The hype surrounding Obi-Wan is palpable, taking place between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. The only thing that I think that you could do, and I hope that if they did decide to do,
Mm-hmm.
is the Darth Maul.
Oh, yeah. The twin sons. Kenobi.
Yeah, and I think that like you show him, being his little hermit self at Tatooine,
Mm-hmm.
and then when Darth Maul shows up to take him out, and they fight it, and they show that live action. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yo, you heard Sam Witwer talk about that fight? The guy who plays Maul. The dude who voices Maul in Rebels, Sam Witwer.
Oh yeah.
He talks about I just saw an interview with him, and they were asked about like what that scene meant with Obi-Wan, because it was, my first initial was like, oh, that was over very quickly, but like he says that he goes back, and if you watch it again, Obi-Wan switches from his Clone Wars lightsaber stance to using Qui-Gon's lightsaber stance. So Maul is instantly triggered to thinking of the Qui-Gon fight and how he beat Qui-Gon, and so he goes for that same uppercut move with the lightsaber, and so that's why Obi-Wan just slashes right through it. And Sam Witwer talks about how at that moment Maul knew that Obi-Wan wasn't just sitting on his hands here. He knew he was here for a reason, and that he was training, and that he had a charge to be there. And that's why he asks, like, oh, is Luke the chosen one, or is this dude, like, are you protecting someone that important? Because he was with it enough to play mind games on his greatest enemy. And yeah, it was really cool. Like, it's cool seeing people that are so passionate about their characters. There's some really fucking good people in the mix right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was God, it was good.
You think
if they do it, I hope they show that fight.
Yeah. You think we'll ever see Starkiller from Force Unleashed?
I hope so, but I don't know.
Yeah. I've heard there's, talk of him potentially showing up as an Inquisitor, but problem would be the power scaling, I think. Because he is fucking nuts in the games.
Oh, yeah. Pulled that whole Star Destroyer down and shit, it's like... Yeah, I mean, I'd be down for it.
Yeah, I'm down for just about anything.
Yeah,
except Boba Fett season 2.
Boba Fett's daycare that he institutes in fucking goddamn Mos Espa, Boba Fett, the Sunday school teacher.
Chrysanthemum, the nanny.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I hope they I don't know. I think that is there any other shows that I know they're already making Acolyte and all this other stuff, but have they announced what's coming out after this?
Ahsoka, Acolyte, Andor season 2. I'm sure there'll be a Mando season 4. Jon Favreau has said as much, that they filmed 3 and 4 at the same time, or that they have the story written for 4. I don't know if there's any others on the slate. Skeleton Crew. Yeah.
Yes. I want to see this.
I mean, it's Jude Law.
Skeleton Crew, which they said they introduced the bad guy, the main villain in that show, in Mandalorian.
Gorian Shand or whatever.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing pirate.
Yeah, the Davy Jones with plants.
Yeah, so right now they got Mandalorian season 3, Star Wars Visions 2 comes out in May.
Ronan was sick. If you saw that episode,
the black and white one.
Yeah,
that was a great episode. That's about the only one I liked.
Yeah, some were hit and miss. There were a couple that had moments, but like that one, the whole thing was good.
If I was a
weeb.
Yeah, if I was a weeb, I'd probably enjoy them more, but I'm just not.
Yeah, same.
But I like that one. That one was good. So there's a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Lucasfilm pairs Kathleen Kennedy developing something. The movie Sphere, the Knights of the Old Republic video game soon. I'd be down for that. And then I'm really pissed off about Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, me too. I fucking loved Rogue Squadron growing up.
I know. I'm really pissed off about that. And then the untitled TK, I can't ever say his name, what TD project? Because he's supposed to be doing 3 movies.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about
untitled Damon Lindoff and Sherman Obaid Chinoy project.
is that?
Entitled Sean Levy Project and upcoming Star Wars TV shows Mandalorian Season 3, 4, Young Jedi Adventures, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, a
Yeah,
droid story.
Lando's the only one that I wasn't tracking. I remember it
Oh,
now
and
that I saw
Lando.
it.
Yeah.
I think I'm reading the same article you are. The pop
Yeah.
verse.
Is it? Yep. Pop
Yeah,
first.
there you
Yeah,
go.
Skeleton Crew it sounds interesting. It's a droid story which developed with Lucasfilm Animation like Magic premiere Disney Plus. The
Oh,
droid story.
I think it's like, yeah, animated one.
I just don't know what they're gonna do with Lando.
I don't either. I think everything that needs to be told about him was told, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lando's character, but what are you gonna show him? Like fucking banging droids and fucking
Playing cards and banging droids.
yeah, playing cards and banging his fucking droid. Like I don't know. Like I just think that that story's not really like exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
He's a swindler. Like,
Yeah, he was always a supporting character. I think he's good as a supporting character, but I just don't have much faith that they could tell a whole story in parts that we don't know.
Well,
yeah,
I think I need to go to bed.
Same,
It's already
dude.
midnight.
Same.
I could sit here and talk about Star Wars until tomorrow at midnight. It was awesome.
I appreciate
Glad
you
you let
hopping
me
on,
join.
man, and thank you for the raid. But dude,
Yeah, man, no problem.
let's link back up towards the end of the season. See if we can't hop on again and chat about how the season's shaping up. If that sounds good to you.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for everything, dude. I appreciate you spending the time just talking nerd. Like I said,
Yeah,
I can
thanks for letting me go on my rants about 8 and 9.
same about all this random shit I keep bringing up. Can't help it, man.
So I know. Once you get you dive into it, it's game over. You know,
Right.
it's just like you pull the strings. You know, pull the Star Wars string, and it's over after that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, take it easy,
All right,
dude.
man.
Have a wonderful night. Thanks again for the
you too.
raid, and we'll talk soon.
All right, bye.
Peace. All right, and on that note, everybody, we are going to sign off for the first Mando Monday of the season on a Tuesday. Keep dropping my lighter. I'm a fidgeter, so I need something to fidget with. But thanks again to Orty for the raid. Go follow him over on Twitch if you're not already. Orty79. Go do yourselves a favor. In fact, let's give him the one more SO. Thanks again, Orty, for the raid. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I apologize anyone messages that I missed along the way. I really was trying to get back to them. As you can see, we're both just two passionate dudes about Star Wars and getting real weird with it. So, everybody, keep it real, and we live in a wonderful Star Wars era. Have a great night, everybody.